Usually we do the...
Do you want us to laugh really loud?
We're all about the last
Running.
I do the laugh track. Gotta make sure that... Okay.
Yes.
All right, you guys ready?
Yes.
All right, welcome back to another episode of the Dick and Boonies podcast. My name is Dick.
My name is Booney.
And welcome to the program. Today we have a very special guest. How should I do this? I got the perfect way of saying who he is. You ready?
I can't wait.
He was in a band that is the same dish as Gordon Ramsay's favorite dish, beef Wellington.
Yes.
He was in that band.
Yep.
He was in a band called Beef Wellington.
Beef Wellington.
He was in another band called Underpants,
Yep.
Or Unruh.
or Unruh.
Or Wellington.
For short.
Or Wellington. So yeah, he was in Wellington, Unruh, and then he was most famously in a band called Landmine Marathon. But most importantly, he is a, shall I say, adopted member of the family.
Yeah, that's
maybe not adopted, but like he just is.
Your mom always said surrogate.
Surrogate member.
Yep, there it is.
That actually comes out a little bit better that way.
Yeah, that's the right
And
word.
don't forget Northside Kings.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah.
Structure of Lies, Mercitron.
Well, dude, I was just naming some of them, dude. Jesus. Hold on. His name is Ryan Butler. Welcome to the program. We've wanted to have you on the program for quite some time now, but you've had...
It's Cameron's fault.
Oh. Yep.
Right on
6
time.
minutes. Right on time. It was actually a little earlier than that, but...
Yeah. Yeah, we'll get into kind of...
country.
Making podcasts great again.
No one's ever had a co-host as better than me, ever.
It's worth the deadly virus.
So I guess we'll get into that here in a little bit. But
Next song.
But I think
We can circle back around.
we have plenty. Yeah, I mean, you couldn't come because we needed to all be vaccinated, and we needed to for a very specific reason that we'll get into in a little bit. But what I'd like to start with is sort of how you managed to get into the music business. What was the starting point? What was some of the first inspirations that you had that said, you know what, I want to do that? Was it God, what was his fucking name? What was the guitar player in the, because we went to church together. What was Stephen Callis? Was he your inspiration? He was the band leader
At church.
Yeah, I was like, I want to see, I want to be Rivers Cuomo, but a youth group leader with a mullet that probably molested kids.
and liked it when the girls' breasts touched his chest when he hugged them.
Oh, boy.
Yes, that was a direct quote.
I did play music with him, though.
I know you
You
did.
played in the band every once in a while, too. You probably sat on the drum.
Oh, yeah. Well, my dad was the drummer. My
Right.
mom was the tambourine.
I was the bass
Sing-
player quite often.
Yeah, dude.
We toured churches.
Only Methodist, though.
You don't know
That
this?
church run.
Yeah.
No, dude, I
The
don't know
Craytones.
The
this.
Craytones, dude.
Oh, I've heard that. I've heard you
From
talk
Creighton
about that.
United Methodist Church.
Yeah, come on.
Funny
How
enough, I'm
brilliant.
Yeah, funny
That's
enough, I'm
Oneater
very
shit.
anti
Yeah, well.
organized religion these days.
Yeah,
but
me
sure.
too. Yeah, me too.
But hey, if they
Probably
need a
when I was
bass,
doing that then
if-
too.
Yeah.
if they need a little rum bum 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 bum,
Well,
you're gonna
the thing
do
was,
it.
we weren't playing. We weren't doing like Striper covers or anything. It was like
Oh no,
it was all.
they quit
all-
doing that.
No, it was all like secular stuff, like Mamas and the Papas and Bob Dylan and
Ooh. Yeah, yeah.
All right.
50s and 60s kind of stuff. So to me, I was just like, cool, I can play bass.
Yeah. You kind of, that's your only option, really,
Yeah.
at 1st. Yeah.
But you learned how to play guitar.
So I started with bass. Well, no, actually.
The Craytones.
So
Opened up for the Deftones and the Deltones.
So when I was a
The
little kid,
Delta.
I was super into heavy metal, like early elementary school. My parents got me a Strat for Christmas one year from one of my uncles who were reggae musicians, and
Right.
like played ZZ Top music and stuff, covers. And so I didn't know what distortion was. And I was taking lessons probably second grade, I would guess.
Oh, shit.
And,
Started in second grade?
Mm-hmm. And
Makes
but
sense.
I didn't know what distortion was. And I was like, I wanted to play Iron Maiden, you know,
Yeah.
Judas Priest, stuff like that. And
Yeah, dude. Robbie help
I
me.
would like go to the lessons and I'd be like, look, this is what I want to play. I want to play freaking Power Slave, you know? And he was like, well, no, we'll get to that later. And I got frustrated and put the guitar down, which is like the worst thing I probably ever
And picked
did
up.
for
That's
my
the
guitar
most
playing.
metal thing you could
So-
have done.
Yeah,
Not
dude.
play guitar.
That was
not
so
play guitar for the
okay,
next 6
fine.
years.
Yeah, it was anti-establishment.
I guess it was pretty metal. It's not metal.
Yeah.
So 2 years later, I would pick up the viola.
Oh, yeah, dude.
And I played in the orchestra until I graduated from Arcadia with you
Yeah.
lads.
Yeah, dude.
Well, way before you lads.
Yeah, wait. Let's get that
Your,
straight.
your brother
Let's
was there.
get that
Yeah,
straight.
you guys were like 2010, and I was
Yeah, dude.
1812,
Come on. We're 03, baby. What were you, 93?
95.
95?
Yeah,
Oh,
but
okay.
I started a year late in kindergarten, so
Oh, you
I was
did?
18 when I started my senior year, but I had like 3 classes.
You started late or you were held back?
No, my parents put me in kindergarten when I was 6.
Okay, that was trying to be funny. Didn't land. All right. All right.
Didn't land.
I
on
couldn't
it.
make out what you were saying. You were able to start late.
It went as good as Beef Wellington.
You ran out of battery.
Sorry.
So, played in the orchestra, learned all my fingering.
Hey.
Taylor knows what's up.
Lick your feet. You rosined up the bow.
Many dudes would learn later.
Nice.
Middle school, I started messing around with my dad's acoustic guitar, and I was just like, "What am I doing with classical music when
Yeah.
I love Iron Maiden?" And
How did you get into Iron Maiden? Like, who introduces you to metal?
Your folks?
no,
Not a chance.
Not a
no.
chance.
My dad called Bad Brains the Dead Brains, and he called death metal dead metal, and like.
Got it. He was more of a Cat Stevens.
So when I was like around 6, this kid across the street from me who was my age, he lived with his 12 and 13-year-old cousins. And
There you go.
all 3 of them were Crocus, Iron Maiden, Accept, everything, just feeding me it. So 6, 7 years old, they were just feeding me that stuff, and I was addicted.
Had a metal boner.
Yeah. And then, 7th or 8th grade, I started getting into punk and hardcore and
Yeah.
all that type of stuff. And playing on my dad's guitar. And then I got a bass. And I can't remember if it was 8th grade. It would have to have been 8th grade I got a bass. And I would jam with your brother Gordon
Yeah, dude.
in the old Mitchell house.
Uh-huh.
And
The old Ludwig shit.
we would just put stuff on the stereo and play to it. Like doofuses. And so then I started a punk band freshman year called Richard Cranium, which your father came up with the name for. We were originally called Cornhole, and my very conservative father said no son of mine is going to be in a band called fucking Cornhole.
So you're like, what about Richard Cranium?
So I told your dad this, and he's like, "That's fucking ridiculous." And
Yeah, of
he's like,
course.
"Call it Richard Cranium." And I was like, "He's like dickhead," and I was like,
Hidden.
So we had this terrible poppy punk band, and did a demo, and
Who sings?
Mike Viella sang
Mike
from
Viella.
Wellington and Unruh.
Yeah,
yeah.
from Beef Wellington.
Yeah, and Dog.
Sorry.
So
I'm a dork.
So you on bass, Gordon on drums.
no,
Mike
Gordon wasn't in this band. Gordon
Oh.
and I Gordon got more into the whole Pearl Jam,
Yeah.
Soundgarden type thing, and I was like, "Fuck that shit."
Yeah.
Fuck that Seattle
Poser
shit.
bullshit.
Yeah.
You say gay?
Whoa. Let's curb the homophobia here, bro.
But let's not curb the jokophobia.
Yeah, I mean, we can talk about sucking dick, but let's not shame sucking dick.
No shame.
No shame ever.
I've done it kind of in my dreams.
Cue bestiality.
To be honest, I was 15, and I probably did call it gay, but I
Yeah.
would never even dream of that now. So I became very politically active in the hardcore.
You're a good.
after that. So
Yeah.
Richard Cranium fell apart because one of the dudes became a total like bro, right wing kind of punker, and got into some kind of more skinhead stuff, and we just fell apart. And I wanted to play heavier stuff anyways. So
Okay.
then I ventured into a band at the time that was called Withdrawn, and it was more hardcore. Like there's a band called Rorschach that it really, really kind of ripped off. And then it turned more into like what back then we called emo, which was really heavy hardcore.
Okay.
But it was like a lot of octave chords, kind of created what became the Deftones and bands like that. But it was more screamy, and really heavy, but really underground and real political lyrics. And but some of them had like real emotional lyrics. We weren't really too much like that, but. So we changed our name to Liburnum, did a demo and some comps, and at the same time, when that band turned kind of more emo-ish, I was like, I need something way heavier.
Yeah.
Called up my boy Gordon Heckman.
Yeah. You're like, what's up, fruitcake?
I was like, I know you'll play on anything, so let's do a band.
He's like, oh yeah.
He's like, I'll do it after baseball practice. This is before Gordon was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Butler made.
Love you, Gordon. Just
Butler made
jokes.
Gordon cool.
Jokes, Gordon.
Was he cool after that?
Questionable.
Love you, Gordon.
Yeah.
My boy. So we did Wellington, and I played guitar and sang. Mike Biella, the singer of Richard Cranium, eventually came in on bass, and it was a 3-piece, and we were doom metal, like hardcore sludge type stuff.
Yeah.
There wasn't all these terms back then. It was just like we called it sludge, I think.
Oh.
Very heavy, very slow.
Yeah.
Screaming.
Diminished chords.
Everything in a minor. I mean, nothing's changed for me writing. Yeah. A guy that we knew who ended up putting out our records called us Leadcore because it was so heavy.
Leadcore.
Because it's heavy as lead.
So did that. Then while that was going on, I came into this band called Urikai, who was just kind of a studio project thing, and with a guy from Connecticut who was in a band called Hail of Rage, and ended up being in this band State of Fear, who was a really popular crust punk band, and he wrote all these songs. You don't know what crust punk is?
Dude, I'm learning a lot right now.
All the subgenres in like the heavy metal scene is fucking.
Well, this is more
wild.
punk. This is all more punk and hardcore. Like I wasn't really playing metal then.
Okay, so it's hard. Like we've been musicians also for a long period
Right.
of time, and it's like I don't know the distinctions between this, that, and the other.
Yeah, we'll have to have a clinic. I mean, we don't have enough time.
No, you need a
But-
glossary. You need
Yeah.
a.
So Wellington was never considered like a metal band.
Oh, okay.
Ever. I mean, it was doom, sludge, but
Sludge.
we came more from like the hardcore scene.
Okay.
The lyrics were real political.
Right.
Everything I wrote was super political, lefty type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing's changed there. And Unruh was kind of more in the hardcore, grindcore scene. So grindcore is all stuff that's like really fast. So
Yeah.
Urikai bred that. The guy who wrote all the songs in Urikai, we did one 7-inch. You know what a 7-inch is?
Yeah.
EP
A record. Yeah.
Those were
with
real
a big
popular.
hole.
Yeah.
With the
No,
big-
they didn't have big holes.
No big hole.
No, it was a
Okay.
33, not a 45.
Okay. Well, shit, dude.
Because you
Again,
could
I
put
don't-
5 minutes on each side if you did it. With
Oh.
the little hole.
Okay, the little hole.
More record real estate.
Correct.
Dang.
So,
Damn.
I'm learning.
I'm learning stuff, Crustcore.
What up, sludge bucket?
You do.
Crustcore is like you ever
You
go down to
dude.
you ever go down to Mill Avenue back in the day and you see the dudes with the patches all over and
Yes.
the dreadlocks and those
Sure.
are crust punks.
Okay, crust
They're
punkies.
crusty.
Literal
They smell
crust.
like shit.
Like smell like shit.
Yeah, they're literally, it's just
They bring
literal.
their dogs to shows and you're
So-
like, this is too loud for your dog. Get the fuck out.
Yeah.
You
know,
were
type
one of those?
I was not.
Oh,
I like that kind of music that those bands produce.
You just weren't a
Yeah.
crusty.
I was not a crusty. I was, I might have one patch on
Yeah.
a short.
Yeah.
I'm
like,
sure there's one.
You know,
I just wore one over
So-
my eye like this, and I was like, oh,
they would have
Pirate core.
pants made of patches,
yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
And
A
there was
quilted.
like this certain kind of old school punk music mixed with like death metal almost. That was kind of crust punk.
Okay.
So pretty fast punk, but really, really aggressive, like verging on death metal, but not death metal.
Is this the Unruh era, kind of?
So, Unruh, so crust punk?
Yeah.
Crust punk kind of came more from early 80s England peace punk.
Oh.
And it kind of emerged out of that. So
Okay.
like Discharge and GBH and all these kinds of bands, Crass, Rudimentary Peni.
There's a-
bands that none of you have
What was
probably heard of. Rudimentary Peni, great band.
I like Discharge.
Discharge. I heard rudimentary.
Discharge
peanut.
is like a huge influence. Like anytime you see Hetfield with a vest on, he's wearing it.
Oh, really? I just think of my girlfriend has a problem with her vagina. It's discharge.
Yeah.
It's creamy and it smells like crust.
I was.
They were a band in the 70s. Even.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Discharge was like legendary.
Was it doom guy
Yep. So there's a beat called the D beat that's do chit, 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 and it's
Yeah.
the discharge beat. The D beat,
Oh.
downbeat, discharge beat. Chit, chit, chit.
There's just a video of discharge coming out of a vagina, and behind the music is.
So, yeah, there's a whole genre now called D beat that's based on discharge.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and there's all these
Good for
bands
them.
that start with dis that are discharge worship.
Yeah. And
So
they,
there's like Disrupt and Disclose and all these different crust punk bands that are discharge worship.
so crazy because that's a large
It's a whole
amount of
new
people that.
world.
Yeah, dude.
It is. Yeah.
And I'm sure Discharge didn't earn a lot of money, right? They probably weren't like a financial success because there's such a.
No, you're probably right.
You know what I mean?
They're still around.
But it's just
So-
that it's just interesting when you have these bands that are so influential as,
Oh, yeah.
i.e.,
Yeah.
Discharge.
This is punk rock.
That-
you
that-
don't go into punk rock to make money.
I suppose.
Not everyone's a Sex Pistols.
You
Joey,
don't?
Joey Ramone died, drunk and broken in an apartment.
That's the only reason I went into it.
That's why I got in the business.
I was like, give me a castle.
No, so that's probably a whole new world to you guys too. Is that I went into this kind of music and touring and all this stuff expecting to never make a fucking dime and pay to do it.
Wow.
So, Liburnum did a tour. That was my first tour ever. And
Okay.
I was a junior in high school, and then Unruh formed, and Unruh and Wellington did a tour right after that. Was that? No, Wellington did a tour.
I was going to say,
My
you
senior year, all by ourselves. We were supposed to go with this band called Suppression from Virginia. Their van engine blew up on the way here. So we went and played all their shows. They were a
Punk as
bigger
fuck.
band than us, so we went and took all their shows and played with all these rad
So
bands.
when you're saying touring, I mean, how is that like? How many cities are we talking about? Are we going across country? Or we?
So the first Liburnum tour wasn't a ton of shows. It was like probably under a week. We're not talking big tours.
Quick little run.
Just a quick run.
Yeah, Wellington, we went up on that first one. We went and did the Bay Area.
Okay.
We played Gilman Street, which is a legendary club where like Green Day and all those bands started. Like Billy Joe still funds that club.
Oh, cool.
I played there a million times since. And we played a basement show with this band Dystopia, who's really popular.
Dystopia.
And the Gilman Street show was with them also. We played Santa Barbara, and I think we played L.A.
Okay.
So it wasn't like a massive tour. The next summer, my senior year, Unruh and Wellington went out together.
And Gordon went out.
Yeah, I think it was my senior year.
My
I'm
mommy
getting
let
old.
him go. Our mommy
She
let
did.
him go.
So
What a
this
fucking
tour.
crock of shit. Wasn't allowed to go anywhere.
So funny story. We played in Vancouver, Canada on that tour.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, and he was 17.
Gordon was in Canada?
Absolutely.
What? What is Gordon doing in
Dude,
and
Canada?
He was starting to get real cool.
We had to call your parents at the border
My mommy?
for them to let him go over.
Is your son allowed to go over here?
Swear to God, we went up
What?
and we were like, okay, we're crossing the border. We had one show in Vancouver. We did the whole West Coast. We did like 2 weeks, I think.
You had to play 2 shows a night?
No.
Oh.
Me? Yeah.
Yeah, you.
Yeah, you.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, no, yes, of course I did.
I thought you meant 2 like separate
No,
shows, like
dude.
a comedian or something.
You had Wellington
or fucking,
and-
Kenny Loggins.
Yeah.
Yeah, the matinee and the.
Don't you speak ill of Kenny?
So yeah, we were like, okay, we're gonna tell them at the border that we're a Christian band called Turquoise, and they'll let us over. And they were like, "No, pull the fuck over," like so.
Yeah,
we
with your
searched the
patches,
whole van,
your
and,
crusty pussy core patches
No, we
or
were
whatever.
really crusty pussy core.
No, I don't know.
Whoa.
What's that?
Dude, that's...
So you just made it up. That's probably
It rolled
Bikini
off the
Kill
tongue.
and Riot Girl stuff.
Dude,
I
you
guess.
just made a new...
Crusty pussy kill
You
or
made-
crusty pussy core?
Whoa, Rusty Pussy Kill?
That's a great
That's a new
song name.
That's a new genre. Okay.
We're getting the hang of this.
Yeah, we got
Butler.
it, dude.
So yeah,
We're
No,
tracking.
we don't need a
dude.
glossary.
Unruh and Wellington toured together. Wellington had an LP out at this point, a long playing
Yeah.
full length record.
Yeah. Like
And
Eminem.
we had a 7-inch out, and I think we had a split 7-inch with Fall Silent out. And Unruh
Listen
had
to a lot
a
of
7-inch out and a split 7-inch with a band called And We Talk Out. So we did that tour, and then Unruh kind of took off after that.
Yeah.
Gordon was going to be moving away the next year,
Sell out.
selling out to
Yeah.
David Geffen and all of them guys.
Yeah, dude.
And
Getting record deals, making money, you little bitch.
no, and I always supported Gordon.
No, of course.
no matter what he did.
Yeah.
And he told us like, after graduation, I'm be fucking rock
He
star
put-
Gordon.
Yep.
He put the disclaimer out there.
Yeah, so we knew. So literally, like the last year of Wellington band practice was like we'd play 2 songs and then like sit outside Blue Burrito Grill for like 3 hours.
Well, Gordon is also synonymously the most
Lazy
anti
practicer.
He does not want to do band practice ever.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
he burned out on band practice, that's for sure. Well, he also was in bands that practiced like every single night, like Monday through
Yeah,
Friday.
fuck
A
that.
lot of hours.
Just every night. I was like,
Yeah.
"You going to band practice every night?" Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever done more than like 3 a week.
Yeah, we drink beers and fucking.
So Unruh gets more popular. We did a demo. We did a 7-inch and split 7-inch, and we start getting some like international popularity. Wellington had a little, because the whole scene is like you put out a record and it went around the world.
Dude,
That's the cool thing. But
Yeah,
that
so-
demo, that tape,
Which one?
I don't remember what it was called.
Unruh?
Yeah,
Oh,
Unruh.
so that was probably was it like a brownish cover or blue cover?
I just saw the cassette
Was
because
it
of my
full length?
brother. I think so, yeah.
Okay.
And I listened to the shit out of it a lot when I was young,
Yeah.
Like, my
Yeah.
brother would show me all this stuff.
Nice.
Because, my brother loves you and
Nice.
loves Unruh and Wellington. He was around,
Yeah.
So he exposed me to that Fall Silent, same thing.
Nice.
Fucking really awesome shit.
Yeah, awesome.
I thank him for
So
showing me
was
that.
probably the full length, and the only reason that's on cassette is because our label didn't have the vinyl ready for a 6-week tour that we were doing with Fall Silent in the summer of '97. So I bought like 2 tape decks and like 200 tapes, and went to Kinko's and like stayed up 24 hours a day for like 2 days before the tour and made the album on a cassette.
Dude.
And we sold them for, it's probably $3 or something back then. Shirts were $5. Yeah, that was the punk scene. But
so that's the cool thing. I was gonna say is that when you're in that subculture or in that culture, right? You put out a record, and everyone is so into that scene that they want to consume everything that you can possibly get, and it spreads around.
yeah,
That's
because it's kind of a microcosm,
Right.
but it's international.
Right.
So, I mean, we went to Europe 2 years after that record came out.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Did, like 5-6 weeks.
Now,
of
how are you
touring.
getting paid? Is it just enough to like?
Paid.
No, but like you got to get there.
Were you guys?
No.
You guys were planning everything on your own. You didn't have anyone.
Absolutely. Back then, I was booking
Shows in
everything.
Europe?
No, Europe. We had a record label who was like going to release our first LP just for Europe, so it would have better distribution over there. And he's like, if I do this, you have to tour Europe, and we're like, twist our arms, you know.
Oh yeah. Let's
So-
get the fuck over there.
So he put a group of people up to booking us a tour over there. Funny enough, the main guy that did it, I had dinner with last night.
Oh really?
Or last night, Saturday night, and
Close
he
enough.
lives in Arizona now. He's from Austria and Germany.
Oh really?
Wild.
Yeah, he moved here. He's a clinical psychologist at Phoenix Children's Hospital.
That's small world shit.
Yeah.
Butler.
Yeah,
Butler, let's have dinner.
his
Let's have
accent's
dinner.
gone. So because he's
Oh, really?
lived here like 15
Oh,
years,
shit,
it's
all
really
right.
weird.
Oh.
He's
God
like,
damn
"Hello,
it.
Ryan."
That's
I'm like,
a thick
"What the
accent
fuck?"
that's a thick accent to get over.
Yeah, his Hitler Youth starts coming.
That's one of the thickest ones to get
Yeah,
over.
you don't just
Right.
yeah.
Imagine Arnold just being like, "Hey, how you doing? I'm Arnold.
Just get to the chopper.
So yeah, I bought a computer because I didn't have a computer, and I was like, I can't afford to call this guy to set stuff up in Europe.
right."
So I have to email him, and I was like, I don't know how the fuck to send an electronic message.
Yeah.
So I bought a $150 computer from a friend just so I could
Was it a-
email this guy to set up the tour.
Was it a blue Apple?
I think it was like a
Packard Bell.
shitty Hewlett Packard or something.
All right. Pentium.
MS DOS.
Is it a Pentium processor?
Probably.
Okay. Dude, I know. Dude, we're getting it.
So yeah, we just
Cam
we
and I
just-
get this.
We get all of it.
So he set it all up. We got there and they fronted the money for the van rental and the gear rental,
Oh, cool.
and we set aside a certain amount every night to go towards paying them back for that, and the rest was for gas, and then we sold merch and
Okay. You get to keep all that, right? The label's not taking any merch, are they?
no, not in that scene.
No. Okay. Just
They would pay you with merch, so you'd get like, say they did 1,000 records, they go, okay, you get 10% of the press, so you get 100 LPs for free, and any after that you have to buy from them wholesale.
okay.
So, which is pretty much how bigger labels work. Like you buy your record from them wholesale to sell at shows,
Oh, okay.
and
Even now?
yeah, for
Oh.
sure. Yeah, I think we still owe our last label a bunch of money.
Nah.
Fuck them.
Yeah.
Have you been getting served?
No, no, they don't have the balls.
Whoa.
Could you
So-
imagine trying to
Yeah, just serving
intimidate Butler?
this. Yeah. dude.
Excuse me. And Ryan's like, yeah, what did you want to say?
Especially the
something?
owner of this label. Like,
little fucking bitch.
Yeah. And how long ago was that? Fucking bitch.
What was he, little fucking bitch?
And how long ago was that?
That we owe them money?
Yeah.
no, this was like 5 years ago.
Oh, it's
shit.
still fresh.
That's a freshie.
Yeah, that's still a label. They put out, Lamb of God, all kinds of bands like that.
Oh,
This is
shit.
the label Landmine Marathon was on.
Okay.
Ah,
So-
Landmine Marathon.
Yeah. Yeah, all the
Skipping
labels
ahead.
Unruh was on, were like pretty DIY, except the label that put out the second record was owned by a bigger label. And the guy that did it worked at Century Media Records, and
Okay.
he got distribution through there and put out like I Hate God and all these other bands. And like eventually the the Unruh stuff all went out of press, and we did a box set of it a few years ago. You went to the
I did.
The
reunion show. And Relapse actually wanted to release that, which is a huge metal label, like Mastodon's on that label, bands like that.
Okay. That
And,
is literally the second band you've said that I've known.
That's hilarious.
all night.
I mean, a lot of these bands aren't like really small bands, but
Yeah, well,
you guys are fucking posers.
Yeah, we're
so-
posers.
Yeah. I know, yeah.
Dude, you've known me for your whole
Yeah, I
life.
know. I know. It's
I am.
everything.
You look up poser in the dictionary. It's just me like this.
I'm trying to layman shit for you, but I'm sure people that know what I'm talking about. Will
Yeah,
also
no.
watch this.
The yeah. If you promote it to the people that
I will.
Yeah, so they'll know exactly what you're talking about. You got two
I mean,
doofuses
any
here.
interview I do, I'm gonna push it when it comes out.
Okay, good.
Absolutely.
Lovely. Yeah, you should tell them it's 50% me schooling them. The other 50% is two dipshits basically sticking thumbs up each other's asses
Hot.
and just going,
Laughing at their own jokes.
yeah. Okay, sorry. Continue.
Okay, so Unruh broke up in like 2000. We did a bunch of tours. We went to Europe, blah, blah, blah. The drummer and I went on to form a band called Structure of Lies. We did a couple records, did a couple tours, didn't do much. I did a band called Mercitron after that kind of just put out a few demos and did a tour and didn't go anywhere I wanted it to. And at the same time, a band called Northside Kings asked me to play guitar for them. And so because the singer played guitar and he wanted to just sing. And this was like, I was really tight with these guys, especially the singer. And I'd gone on a trip with them up north. I just told you this story. And our singer knocked out a man named Glenn Danzig on film. Yeah. And
I love that video. I
Richard
love that
didn't even
video.
know about it.
Yeah.
You didn't?
Oh, dude, you know me.
Oh, dude.
You know me. Here's the thing about me. You tell me something, it just goes, whoop,
Because when was that? Like 2014?
2004.
4.
Hey, you were only 10 off.
July 3rd. July 3rd, 2004.
you knew it. And when was that?
Yeah.
14?
I was just throwing.
2014? No, 2004.
It's
I was close.
It's a fucking awesome video.
Oh, it is.
James Hetfield's favorite YouTube video.
Okay, so how do these? How do our people see it? What would you look on YouTube?
Glenn Danzig knockout.
Yeah.
It'll
And
come right
so that
up.
was the singer of
Or Northside
Danny.
Kings and Danzig will come right up
Yeah.
after that.
Okay, cool. So look it up. It's really
so
cool.
Danny was in Soulfly when they originally started. He was in a band called Cause for Alarm, who's an old New York hardcore band. And Northside Kings was a style called New York hardcore, which is like more of a tough guy kind of
Yeah.
like.
Yeah.
There actually might be some bands like Biohazard was
Yeah.
like an early New York hardcore band. Bands like Madball, Sick of It All, Agnostic Front, stuff like that.
I mean, the amount of band names that you have in your brainial
Yeah,
cavity
that's wild.
is insane.
Oh, you have
Yeah.
no idea.
Dude.
We're touching the tips of the iceberg.
Ah, gently touching our tips.
So we didn't really tour. We did a thing with Madball and H2O. The guys from H2O are in a band called The Licks with Juliette Lewis, so you might know.
Oh
that.
yes,
We did a
Yeah.
tour, like a mini tour with them.
you got to with with the licks.
No, with H2O,
Okay,
who's
okay.
like guys that are in her band.
Okay, cool.
And Madball and played like filled marquee and stuff like that.
Oh,
bigger
wow.
bands.
Okay.
And then it ended up Danny owned a furniture store and he didn't really want to tour anymore. So like, excuse me, right as
lovely.
I joined the band, he's like, I don't really want to tour anymore, and like he'd toured with Soulfly before I was in the band twice, I think.
I don't want to tour anymore. You need a
Soulfly
duvet.
was huge.
Sorry, you need a duvet.
And
you can buy a duvet, motherfucker.
I don't even know what that means, but I have a duvet. It's really
That's very nice. I got it from Dan. He hooked me up, dude. 20% off.
So about that time,
Promo code UNRUH.
if you need help spelling any of this, let me know.
All right, so you continue.
So Northside, once I joined the band, didn't do a whole lot. We did videos. We played like just regional shows where we'd go play a couple California shows or whatever. And we were supposed to play the very last ever CBGB's hardcore matinee, and Danny got hit in the eye with a beer bottle in the bar fight, and they broke his orbital socket, and we couldn't fly because his eye socket would have collapsed. And,
Yeah.
so we missed out on playing that show with Bad Brains, and
Oh, man, that'd have been fun as hell.
well, it wasn't Bad Brains; it was Fearless Vampire Killers. But Bad Brains ended up pretty much playing because HR showed up and they did it, and you know Bad Brains.
Yeah.
That would
I mean, they're the reason the Deftones
Yes.
are a band.
No,
They took
I
them
know.
on their first tour.
I know Bad Brains. Thank
Okay.
you.
So,
He's like patting me on the head.
well,
You're
they're
a bad
considered one of the first hardcore bands.
Yeah, are they?
Yeah, because
Okay.
like their first few albums are really fast, and
Okay.
if you watch early videos of them, it's some of the most insane shit you'll ever see. So I'd kind of hung up the touring towel at that point, and I met my new wife. I'd been divorced once, and then I started my studio, Arcane Digital Recording.
Yes, sir.
And then I met my wife, Amy, and a band called Landmine Marathon, who I was really close with all the members for probably 15 years at that point. I recorded their demo and their first LP, and they came knocking, and we're like, we needed new guitarists, and you can play leads, and we want you to be in the band, and
Kinda need
nobody
you,
else
man.
knows how to be in a death metal band that's really a punk band, and
Right.
blah, blah, blah. And I was like, nah, not interested. You know?
Ah.
And then my wife was like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
They've got so much hype right now. And I was like, I'm just kind of tired of sleeping on floors and, shitting in foreign toilets and
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
jerking off with a curtain between me and
Yeah. That part
The other guy jerking off.
I don't mind. I wouldn't mind that.
You know what?
I wouldn't mind that. I might
Jerk off in the foreign toilet.
I might grab Cam's ham and just pull it in
Cam's ham.
and just no, your hand. I'll grab Cam's ham and then jerk off.
You ever had a cam ham?
That's what I heard. Oh,
I like
yes.
canned ham.
Yep.
No, I'd grab Cam's hand and just bring it into the curtain, and then I'd be like, "Listen, I'm making sausages in here.
Just
Grab the casing.
Are you unsheathed?
I'm on sheath.
Or are you sheathed?
Dude, I got mine sheathed off around 12 years old.
Yeah.
12?
Just old enough so you could remember.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, dude, your boy got
So
circumcised.
I knew you when you had a foreskin.
Yeah, dude, I had a tiny
Most
little
of the
anteater.
time,
Yeah,
yeah.
most of the time.
I
Yeah,
probably saw it back then.
Oh,
you ran
sure.
around naked a lot. Now
I was.
that I think
Yeah,
about it. I knew Richard when he was like that.
Yeah.
I was a tiny little
That's
guy.
wild.
Yeah, you know I had a real little dick then for sure. And it was housed.
It was
But
cute.
you were proud.
It was cute.
Yeah, it was cute. Dude, my wiener couldn't grow, dude. It was trapped. It was sealed.
It matched the little bow tie you'd had to wear to church.
My dad used me as a puppet. Dude.
I was just telling the story. Gordon and I would sit in the front of the church, and his dad would be in the back, or vice versa. And like he would take Richard's. I mean, Richard was, I don't know, 2, 3, probably at the most,
Yeah.
like barely talking. And he'd take his hand and make him do this and point
him
it.
flick off
and me
everybody.
and Gordon in the church while the sermon's going. And we're like 12, just losing.
dying. Yeah, for sure.
And Richard is like,
And Debbie's like, God damn it.
That's my whole life. I've talked about it before. We'll just be in line, and I would be like 5 years old at the grocery store, and then fucking, haggis would be in front of us, and I'd just be standing there, and my dad would just take my hand and touch her butt with it, and be like, Richard! And I'd be like, and he'd be like, I'm so sorry. And I'd be
this is
like,
why I fit in with your family so much.
and then we get in the car, and my dad'd be like,
These are the breadcrumbs, bro.
Ask me the Richard's toothbrush story later.
Oh no, I'm gonna ask you it now.
yeah, I'd like to know
You
this too.
want to segue this?
Yeah,
I don't even know what
We've
you're talking.
retold you it a few times.
Have you? Was I drinking?
Well, you had the night before.
No,
So
you never know.
I don't think Gordon even lived here at the time.
What the fuck did you do with my
But-
toothbrush?
This is huge.
You
'Cause
know this story.
Do I?
Yeah,
Oh,
so
boy.
I don't.
I'll
Talk
make
to
it
my
quick.
girlfriend. She knows I don't remember squat.
So I think Gordon was in LA, but you guys were playing a show, and I was gonna go with y'all to the show. You were with your parents. I was gonna go to see you play,
Okay.
and maybe Gordon was here. I can't remember. So you and your dad were in a fight. You drank all night the night before, and it was like 5 o'clock, and you were just waking up, and you'd been in a fight earlier when you were awake, and he's like, Richard's such a fucking asshole. Blah, blah. And, like, and you came out and you said something, and like you guys got in a fight, and he's like, just go take a fucking shower, and blah blah blah. And you got in the shower, and your dad's like, I'm so fucking pissed at him. So either Lennon or McCartney walks in, the dog, and is just in front of us and just goes, and a baby bird, like a fetal baby bird, just plops out. And we're just like, what the fuck is that?
Nice.
What the fuck? So it was so disgusting. And Chuck looks at me and goes, let's put Richard's toothbrush on it.
God damn, bro. Ruthless.
So he
That
goes,
is ruthless.
you guys were all like sharing an electric toothbrush that switched heads, I think.
Okay.
So he went and got yours. I've told you this story since.
Yeah, I don't
multiple
remember
times.
it. I blocked it out, Brody.
Puts it on,
Brody.
Puts it on the vomited up bird fetus.
Dude, that could have had
Takes pictures of it.
biohazards. He took
And
pictures.
and Richard comes out and he's like, I feel like shit. And I go, you know what helps? What'll help you? What always helps me feel better? Brushing your teeth.
Yep.
And Richard goes, oh yeah, fuck yeah, you're right. I should go do that. So he disappears.
Oh,
In the
fucking
meanwhile,
haggard.
Chuck connects the digital camera to the TV.
Wow, how did I black out all of this?
Seriously, dog.
Jesus, that's traumatic.
Yeah.
And so he's going through the pictures of the dead baby bird, like he's waiting for Richard to get near, and he's going through them, and he's like, look at what Lennon puked up, whichever dog it was, I can't remember. And Richard's like, holy fucking shit, that's so disgusting. And he gets to the one with the toothbrush, and Chuck just goes, what's that?
Oh my god.
Oh, that's your toothbrush.
Oh, wow.
And Richard's face turned white. And he just turned and walked out of the house and got in his car and left and didn't say a word.
Probably played a good fucking show that night.
How the fuck did you not remember that?
I don't know, dude. I can just imagine, though, when he's pulling it up on the big screen TV, he probably had to go through like 70 pictures of his cock first before he got to the bird picture.
Well, Debbie came in.
I'll be back.
Debbie came in.
Yeah,
and
let's
was
get
like,
Through those real quick. Here's me squeezing on my ball bag. Hold on. Oh, there's Debbie's tits. Hold on one second.
So yeah, your mom was pissed.
Oh,
She found
really?
out, and she's like, "You're gonna call him right now,
Hell yeah.
and wherever you guys are
Apologize?
practicing, and tell him that that wasn't his toothbrush."
But it was.
So
right?
he's like, "Okay." So he called you and told you it wasn't your toothbrush.
But it was.
It was.
Okay, that's good. That's very nice. Yeah, that's the stock I come from.
Stock I go from.
You can't get bird influenza now.
I mean,
It's been like, this is probably
There's other bacteriine, isn't there?
dude. I
late
just
late
picture the
90s.
dog.
Dude, it was
And
just
Chuck was
like
going-
the dog was really old at the time and just like was like, and it just like shot out
Chuck's
onto
like
the
a-
floor.
Right away, Chuck's like, I'm putting that motherfucker's toothbrush in there.
Well, he's down on his knees looking at it, and he's just like,
That's it.
"Oh my god, that's the most disgusting thing I've ever seen." And he's crouched down, and he looks up to me with that devious look. That
Yeah, the eyebrow, the Chuck brow
That's
is.
Richard's toothbrush.
Yeah, yeah,
Your
dude.
dad just hates you?
Oh my god, is that even a question?
They were fighting a lot at the time.
Yeah, these people don't like me. Yeah, that classic
That's
brow.
wild.
Every time my dad would write a sign like "keep out" or "do not touch" or whatever, he would always draw a little. Because my dad's like a pretty good artist, you
Yeah.
know. He would draw a little character with those fucking eyebrows, with his eyebrows, and it would be. It was like always on like the thermostat, you know, like
Yeah,
Don't
touch the fucking thermostat. You don't pay the fucking bills.
Yeah.
like he writes all of that out, and then just has the character who's like,
yeah.
"Fuck you."
Yeah.
And I'd always be like, "God damn it, I can't escape it, dude."
So yeah, that was a good segue.
Yeah, that's a great
Worth it.
segue. I don't remember that at all. I did block that out. So I didn't have we didn't have a show. I just had band practice.
No, you had a show. You were going to like load gear or
Oh,
something.
okay, yeah.
I don't know where you guys practiced.
One of the only singers who loads gear.
Because this might have been pre
True.
like everyone having a cell phone. So
Maybe the Nokia.
maybe.
I never. They didn't let
I
me.
can't remember.
They didn't let me. They didn't let me have one. All my friends had one. I didn't have one. All my friends were able to go places I wasn't allowed to go anywhere. That's why it's so funny that Gordon was in goddamn Scare Sketch. Shout out Mark.
Shut up, Rock.
We have a fan from Canada.
Nice.
One. We have one fan. We have about one fan from Canada.
Hello.
Die hard.
Canada.
Die hard.
So shout out from Phoenix, Arizona.
What, did you say Saskatchewan?
He's from. I think he's from
That's
Toronto.
a place in Canada. Don't
Yeah,
act
we-
like it's not.
Yeah, but we
No,
actually said Saskatchewan.
Oh,
Yeah, it all started like several months before he was even like a fan. I don't know. He's a supporter of our podcast. I would just be like, "We're big in Sky Sketchies. We're big in Sky Sketchuan," and then Mark was like, "I'm literally from fucking Canada, eh?" And we're like, "Yeah, baby."
Yeah, you are.
So it's
take off, eh?
yeah. So
Plays with it. He plays
I think we
on
probably
it.
have about 6 supporters in Canada because he's got a couple of friends out there.
Sick.
Yeah. So it's gonna fucking we're transmitting.
Hell yeah.
So I'm sorry. Where were you, man?
I think we were joining Landmine Marathon.
Yeah.
Yes.
You were like, no.
Yeah.
And then-
okay, so
I'm
no.
tired. I don't want to.
Your better
Yeah.
half was like, yes.
And then I toured more than I've ever toured before in my entire life combined.
There you go.
What kind of touring facilities were you? What kind of
Facilities?
what kind of facilities were you?
Everything from shithole house shows to an entire airport with Metallica.
Oh my god!
And James
You were-
Hetfield asked us to play that show.
You guys were in a
Sick.
hangar.
No, it was the entire outside of the airport. It was like 60, 70,000 people.
What airport?
It was in Atlantic City, New Jersey. So it was the closed down airport.
Oh, okay. I was
It's
gonna
like
say-
not an open airport.
Okay, so they
They rented the grounds.
there was no
basically.
delays.
Oh, shit.
There was no flight. They're like my plane's delayed. Why?
A plane flies over every 5 minutes.
That'd be kind of dope, though.
That would be so gnarly.
I mean, you couldn't hear anything.
So they did a thing called Orion Fest in 2012. They did it 2 years in a row. Second year, your boys Deftones were on it. And there was like 4 stages, I want to say, and each member picked like 7 bands or 8 bands for this 2-day festival. And Hetfield picked us.
That's so cool.
And
Is it because of the punching video?
no, this was Landmine Marathon.
Oh, my bad. I'm just.
Nor-
I'll-
But
like-
Hetfield was like, Butler's in
Listen,
that band,
I like
though,
to
He
skip
so-
probably
around.
doesn't even know that I was in that band.
Okay,
He
I just like
might.
to skip around. Shits and gigs. I like to stir it up. I like to confuse everybody in the room, and
Well,
then we get back
Landmine
on
and
track.
Northside were going on at the same time.
Oh.
So, because
Hey.
Northside really just was playing locally at that point.
That's
'Cause
what I
this was
meant,
About
man.
2006.
I mean, that's what I was talking about. That's what I meant.
uh-huh.
Come on now,
So, and,
Give it
and
to me, baby.
give it to me now. Give it to me.
Landmine played everywhere from like, we did 1 million U.S. tours and Canada. We did a huge fest in Mexico. We did a tour of Mexico. All kinds of stuff. So.
Were the checks coming in at this point? We cashing them? Were you cashing
Checks.
asses and?
I mean, we
mashing
had a
checks?
nicer van than I've ever toured in. We had a 6x12 trailer. We had
Okay. You had an upgraded
we-
van.
If like Scion would sponsor the tour or something, then we could get hotel rooms.
Yes, dude.
Stuff like that.
I was hoping he was going to say they all had scions to drive. They all fucking pulled up.
We were kind of on the verge of, almost being to the point where we would come home with money, but like the band had a lot of debt and like we spent a lot on tour, and we were all part-time. So
Okay.
everybody had some form of job back home, and we were all like, we're not going to do this 9 months a year because, like Matt and I at the time were in our mid-30s when it really started going. So, and I was running the studio. I was recording and producing and stuff. So, which we haven't even touched on. But
No.
so yeah, Landmine toured a lot. Landmine was more of a death metal, old school death metal band with a female singer.
Yes.
And that band went from 2005. I joined in 2006, like literally right when the first album came out. And we did our last shows at the end of 2015. And my knees were shot at the time, and I having weird illnesses that I didn't know what they were. And I was just like, I can't do this anymore. You know, being gone 3 or 4 months a year, and
So
it's tough.
So in 2015, when some of those weird random illnesses were, is that when they started popping up at first?
2014, kind of. I was having weird things like low platelets and weird kidney levels and stuff like that.
Like when you would get blood work done and stuff. Would you get blood work done just like because you're a
routinely
a mature
because
person?
I married someone that worked at Wells Fargo and I had health insurance.
Okay.
And they were like, if you don't do blood work every year, you have to pay this much more in deductible. And I was
Got
like,
it. Okay.
No, I'm not paying that fucking shit.
Yeah. So you would do your annual checkup, and they would find just sort of strange oddities, and you'd be like, "What's that?" And they're like, "Yeah, it's all good."
So I'm still recording at the time, and you know, I worked with all kinds of bands, and I went and had blood work, and they were like, your platelets are really low. Like, they're supposed to be 150,000 units or cycles or whatever it is, and I was at like 80,000. And
and can you explain a little bit of what these them their platelets are?
Well,
What them are?
I'm not Dr. Butler.
But
I can tell you all about hardcore and crust punk, and but it's part of your blood. Basically.
All right. Okay. Well, there you go.
I believe it's what makes it clot.
Okay. I'm thinking. You know, we don't even need to know what I was thinking. I was thinking some sort of spinal plates. It's fine, dude. We're gonna move on from that. I was like, how do you go from 12 plates to 80 plates?
Your platelets in your spine that go to your earlobe.
We're gonna bypass it, but I had to make sure that everyone knew I was fucking stupid. So your platelets were way the fuck off.
Mm-hmm. Like at 30,000, they have to start putting you on steroids to keep you alive.
And you were at?
I was at 80.
80. Okay. To keep you alive. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. So at that point, you were like, this?
They were like 80, 90,000. You'll be all right.
Okay.
We just need to monitor it. Wow. So they sent me to a blood doctor. They were like, we want to make sure you don't have cancer because your platelets have gone from 150 to 130 to 100 to 80, over a couple years. And went to see that doctor, and he's like, you don't have cancer. He ran a bunch of tests, and I was like, well, what about Wilson's disease? My mother died from Wilson's disease in 1996, which is a hereditary disease where your liver stops producing and processing copper, and the copper stays in your liver, and it eats through the liver and gives you really bad cirrhosis and kills you.
It's a fatal.
Yes. Yeah, unless it's... Now they have medicines where it will pull the copper out. Okay. So if you find it really early, you can just take those medicines, which are $90,000 a month.
Oh. So it's affordable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean...
I had to take those until
I
had a transplant. So...
But let's
jump in the gun.
Yeah, let's go back. Let's go back to the beginning of the journey. So you say to the doctor, "Hey, listen, fuck boy."
Yeah.
I said,
"What about Wilson's disease?"
And he's
like, "You don't have Wilson's disease. Nobody gets Wilson's disease." I said, "Well, my mom died from it." No, you don't have Wilson's. So I keep going to see this guy like every 6 months or something, and my platelets are going lower and lower and lower and lower. They're at like 50,000, and he's like, "Boy, I don't know. Can't figure out what's wrong with you." And my wife's like, "What about Wilson's disease? Do you think he has Wilson's disease?"
Yeah.
Because by then I'm retaining water like crazy. They're putting me in the hospital to take water off me. Why none of them ever checked my piss and were like, your liver levels are fucked up.
Oh, because that would. Oh wow.
And even I had like crazy toe fungus, and I was like went to my doctor, and I was like, "Man, I got this crazy toe fungus. I've tried every fucking thing on it in the world, and it won't go away." And he's like, "Well, I could put you on something, but I think you should just like file it and put tea tree oil on it, because then, like, if I give you this medication, we really have to monitor your liver."
Was he like, boom, tough acting, tenactin?
Yeah,
pretty much.
God damn it!
And tea tree oil, even worse. Yeah, he's like, pour some tussin on it.
A piss test is 101 basic vital checkup shit.
Yeah.
That's like the easier one, right?
yeah.
They're like just piss into this.
That tells a lot.
So, yeah, they could have checked the different levels of my liver through that. And I mean, in the hospital, they're collecting my piss
And then
when they're
just,
taking water off me.
just throwing it away.
Apparently,
Wow.
because that was 2018. By then, where they're like hospitalizing me, like you're gonna have a heart attack because the water's pressing on your chest so hard that your heart's blowing up and shit. And I'm just like, what the fuck?
Can you quickly explain what you mean by taking water off?
Sure. So, I mean, you know what retaining water is.
I would say I
What your
do.
Girlfriends do on their period.
Okay.
For me, it was like to the point where I had it all over my body. Like my legs would look like elephant feet.
Okay.
And they
You were
would
trunked out.
Yeah, and they
trunked
would
out.
they would give me heavy diuretics, and I'd piss it all out.
And you weren't sweating or anything? Like, was that...
Dude, I could barely. By 2018, 2019, I was just like, I would still work out and stuff, but I was just like, man, what? I'm so fucked up.
Yeah.
I'd
didn't
go on a
feel
mountain
right.
bike ride, and I'd just be like,
Yeah,
I think I'm gonna die.
Because you were doing that, like, avidly.
Yeah, because I was like, I gotta take this weight off that's coming on me. You know, I'm like, what? Where? I'm not eating anything. I'm a vegetarian. I fucking,
Yeah.
do all this shit
Not making sense.
to ward this off, and nothing's happening. And like, there was a point where I gained like 20 pounds in like 2 weeks or something.
Fuck.
And I was like, something is fucking wrong.
And you're
you
eating
know?
like a bird.
Yeah.
Working out.
Yeah.
But again, when they take water off of you, what are they puncturing holes?
Diuretics. Well, they do that. If I would have been concentrated in one place, like my uncle who had a transplant in 2019 had what's called paracentesis, where they stick a needle in you and they drain the water off you.
Oh, God.
For me, they weren't doing that because it was in my legs, in my arms.
They were giving you medications. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So your uncle had it too?
Not Wilson's disease. He had fatty liver disease.
And he was not a drinker, right?
Non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, correct.
Goddamn non-alcoholic fatty liver
You can
disease.
get it from eating terrible foods and just eating
Waffle
wrong.
House and whatever.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know that he ate that, but he's like a meatitarian, and like
I don't know. Waffle Houses came up.
I'm sure that doesn't help.
Yeah.
So
You're wondering what the fuck is going on.
yeah. So finally, 2019, spring of 2019, I start getting crazy fucking migraines for like 4 or 5 months. And I'm like, what? I've never had a migraine in my life.
Right.
Like to the point where I was just like, I think my head's going to split open. Oh my God. By the end of the night, it would happen like every couple weeks for days. So,
Your migraines would last 4 days?
yeah.
Oh,
Jesus
my
Christ.
God. I've had migraines that last a couple hours and they're almost unbearable.
Brutal. Sometimes I'd go to sleep and it'd go away. But sometimes I'd wake up and it was still painful, but not as bad as it was at night. And it would always come at the end of the day, which was weird. So,
Sort of cycle thing.
yeah. So, I get one that's so bad I can't take it. And my eye had been itching and I was rubbing it all the time. And I go in to get a Toradol shot to get the migraine taken away if they can. And I remember this was, my ankles were all crazy when I went in there even to do this. And I was like, I don't know why this keeps happening. And the nurse was like, oh, I don't know. I'm like,
Oh, thanks.
fuck, okay. They gave me a Toradol shot. And the guy who gave it to me, he's like, your left eye is really red. Have you been rubbing it? And I was like, yeah, it's just bothering me.
Yeah.
He's like, okay. As long as it's like you're just rubbing it, that's doing that. I was like, yeah, I think that's what it is. So that was like a Wednesday, Saturday. It's just blinding pain and blinding me. And I go, and it's just my whole eye looks like, a red volcano. Like I have pink eye.
Okay.
So I go to urgent care.
Look like a vagina with discharge.
Or crust.
Do you catch that callback?
Come on now. That's why we're in the business.
We're always coming.
That's why we're big in the podcast space.
Snake eating wiener.
Sorry, dude. I have to interject something every once in a while.
Wiener or Boris.
Sorry.
Okay, so
It looked like a stinky pussy. Okay, sorry.
So by this point, I went to urgent care on Saturday. They're like, "Oh, you have pink eye." Nurse practitioner tells me that. I'm like, "Okay, here's some drops. Here's some antibiotics." By Wednesday, 5 days later, I'm just like, this hurts so fucking bad.
Yeah.
I'm gonna die. So I went to my GP, my general practitioner, and he walks in and he goes, "Okay, what do we got here? Whoa, what the fuck?"
He does that?
He's like, "What is going on with
How
you?"
we doing in here? Whoa!
Yeah.
What the fuck?
When the doctor's like, what the
He
fuck?
was, and he looked at me and he's like, "This is not right." And he looks in my eye and he's like, "You have to go to an ophthalmologist right now. Hold on." And like, he goes and he makes a call. It comes in with like a younger nurse. He's like, "Look in his eye," and she's like, "Oh wow." I'm like,
She's like, what
I
the
thought I had
fuck?
He's like, someone take a
I thought
dump
I
in
had
your
pink
eye.
Yeah, I was like, I thought I had fucking pink eye.
Oh
And I thought my dog rubbed its ass on the pillow.
Yeah.
So,
You thought wrong, bitch.
yeah. So he's like,
Doctor, not you.
Let's go, dummy. Let's go. It's just,
so
are you a
he comes
doctor?
back in and he's like, "Okay, this ophthalmologist is right down the street.
Perfect.
Head over there right now."
Yeah.
And by then it's like 3 o'clock or something, and I sit there for an hour.
Of course.
Ophthalmologist brings me in, and he's like, "Oh man, we've got to do some laser procedures on you right now."
He's like, I shouldn't have taken that hour lunch while you were sitting in the fucking waiting room.
Well, he was there till 8 o'clock that night.
Oh.
Lasering 100 and something holes in my eye.
Oh, that. So there was pressure.
Yeah, we talked about this. So
Yeah.
like, there's these like moats around your eye, basically around your iris.
Yeah.
And they sealed closed from what's called acute angle glaucoma. And he's like, "This is really weird that you have this. Like, somebody in their early 40s shouldn't get acute angle glaucoma.
Yeah.
I only get rare diseases." So he's like, "Usually like a 70-year-old would get it, and even that's rare."
You're just like, dude, I'm fucking dope.
Yeah, I'm like,
Okay, I'm fucking, dude, I'm
you know,
dope. Okay.
hardcore punk, bro.
Yeah. Come on, dude. You better believe I got the 80-year-old disease now.
I'm literally the youngest person by 30, 40 years in the waiting room at this place every time I go there.
Insane.
And I still have to go there.
Yeah.
So he lasers holes in my eyes until 7 or 8 o'clock that night. And they closed at 5, and I'm there with him.
He's trying to save your eye.
Yeah. And he calls me like at 9 o'clock even, and he's like, "How are you doing?" And I said, "Well, it fucking hurts really bad." He had offered me fentanyl, and I was like, "I don't want to take that shit." We haven't glazed on that. I've never like done drugs or drank or
Yeah,
anything either.
You're like a straight edge kind of
yeah,
guy.
Eagle Scout.
Yeah. Eagles.
Literally.
Are
So
you Weeblo?
no,
We blow.
went
Adam
straight
Hood?
straight to the boys.
Adam would always be like, Adam Hood would always be like, I'm a Weeblo. I'm a Weeblo.
We blow.
I'm a Weeblo. I'm like, what? He's like, corn. It's a cob of corn.
That's like the patch.
I'm like, what the fuck? I go, it's Weeblo. Is it Indian related? Native American, I mean?
I don't know.
It's probably.
That's why it's cool.
I think so.
I tried to be a tiger cub, but my parents didn't want to do that.
Oh, I was.
I was.
Were you?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, we walked across a log. What else did we do? We walked.
Yeah, you did.
We did.
Made bird feeders out of pine cones.
Yeah. We and the Derby, the
Pinewood Carby Derby.
Pinewood Derby?
the pushcart Derby. We had the the Pinewood Derby. You know Cool Runnings?
You ever done the Pinewood Derby?
And my dad, dude, listen.
Oh, he made the best.
It was a fucking Batmobile.
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, he made
with a
it,
jet on it.
dude, well, so I won every race, and he put extra weight.
Yeah, you put extra lead in there, but don't you have to weigh in?
I don't know, dude. My dad. I think my
There's
dad.
a whole South Park about
My
that.
dad got it in there somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
I don't know. So okay, so they say. So let's get away from that and let's go back to you almost lost your fucking eye. So he
Yeah.
calls you to check on you, and you're like, "Doc, it hurts."
Yeah, and he's like, "Well, you could have taken the fentanyl, but now you got to take ibuprofen."
Yeah, next time
yeah.
let me know, dude. I'll take it off your hands.
You could have
Jokes.
taken the fentanyl.
Jokes.
So he brought me back in at like 7 in the morning to poke more holes in it, and he's like, "Yeah, if you wouldn't have done this last night, you would have lost this eye for sure because it was ready to burst." So
What? Okay, so that means you and Amy are on the couch and you just look over and your eye explodes.
I don't
and
know.
she gets Deborah on her goddamn blouse.
So-
Deborah on her blouse.
Discharge.
I like that you picture Amy at home wearing a blouse.
She's just got a nice silk blouse on.
Yeah.
She's like, you got your damn eye, Deborah, on my blouse.
She didn't take off her sweats for 2 years during COVID.
Oh, that's
Hi, Deborah.
sorry.
I don't know, but
It probably would have just kind of like,
normal eyeball pressure is like a 12,
PSI.
and 18 is really high.
PSI.
I don't know.
That'd be
Penis per square
awesome,
inch.
dude. That'd be awesome if it was PSI.
Yeah. It might,
PSI.
it might be.
I bet I got to pump up my tires.
50 pounds, right, Gordon? 50 pounds.
Pounds per square inch.
45 pounds. Yeah, I got 12. I got
Ask
12.
Gordon about 50 pounds.
Why? What's going on with him?
That's my dad. Used to
Oh.
He'd talk to your dad about his trucks all the time, and your dad just did not give a shit. And he'd be like,
Airing up the tires.
my dad would be like, "Yeah, I got 50 pounds in the back." And so Gordon and I would always go to my dad and go, "Got 50 pounds." And Gordon and I still do that, 40 years later.
You got 50 pounds.
Hey, my
50
dad,
pounds in these
just like-
tires.
my dad can appreciate pounds per square inch now. My dad's got a fucking air compressor back there.
Goddamn compressor.
He's got an air
He's
compressor.
got it dialed in.
I hear him like on the weekend, like I'll just like yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what you doing, Dad? He's like, filling up your tires, son. Just making sure we got it evened out. Want to get that even wear, that even tread wear.
But he let some air out first. Like he went out there. He's like, nah, I think it needs some.
So they were doing that on your eyeball?
So I had a 12 to 18 is normal.
Okay.
I was a 68 pressure.
Jesus.
Dude, unbelievable.
Yeah. So my eye was squishing my optic nerve, and it was
okay.
hemorrhaging inside, and
Buddy.
so that permanently created scar tissue in my optic nerve. So I can't see very well out of my left eye anymore.
Son of a bitch.
So he put new lenses in both my eyes so
Okay.
that this would never happen again. Sorry. Whoa.
Whoa, dude. $400, dude.
He put really flat lenses in my eyes so that those the lenses on top could never seal closed again.
Oh.
I don't really understand how it all works, but
I don't either. I said,
Yeah.
like I got it, but I
Yeah.
didn't.
they,
It's all right.
It just basically it keeps the little canals around there, the moats open.
Convex?
Yeah.
Okay.
So whatever that means.
Concave? Sorry.
So he did 7
Tourette's
procedures over me from I want to say February to August, and
7?
we did 2 full eye surgeries, and then 7. Now I think I've had 8 because he tried to take this line out that's shown up in my good eye in one of the lenses, and it won't come out. So my good eye has a line in it when the sun shines in it just right.
Oh, that's badass, dude.
Super awesome.
That's fucking that.
And he's like, "Well, I don't know what to tell you."
oh, isn't that the best when people do that?
You're like, oh, that's cool. That's what all my doctors tell me.
Hey, listen.
Fucking-
It's rare that it happens. No,
Yeah.
he didn't do that.
Hey, listen. You know what? Medicine's not solution based. You know,
No.
it's just we get in there, don't work. I don't know.
yeah.
No
That's
solution.
why it's still called a practice.
Yes.
Yes.
Hey.
Ayo.
That's
If
right.
there's one thing that I've learned in the last 7-8 years is that doctors are just people.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yep.
Because this guy went, years saying, "Oh, you don't have Wilson's disease."
Now I'm detecting an accent on that one there. Let me go. Was there an accent?
Yes.
What was it, Richard?
Seemed a little.
Asian?
Nope.
No.
Nope. Wasn't?
East Indian.
Preet.
They don't have that.
Oh,
I went like this. That's
he
a.
said Asian. That's
that's
what I
a-
was responding to. Sorry.
Oh yeah. No, you respond
That
to
is-
this
that-
side
that-
over here.
Sorry.
That's Asian too, guys.
Fuck
That's
out.
part of Asian's correct. You
Indians are
don't have
Asians.
Wilson's disease. I'm telling you. this
Great
one.
point. Solid.
Solid.
No, you're goddamn. Okay.
He was the nicest guy,
Oh,
and
I
I
believe-
trusted him
yeah, of
forever,
course.
and he's helped me in the
They're
hospital
making
and stuff
naan
too.
and shit.
So I go in for my they're gonna replace the lens in my good eye,
Mm-hmm.
and this is August of 2019. I have a 103-degree fever. Every medicine they'd given me for my eyes had made me sick for weeks. and they're just like, God, I don't know. And my East Indian doctor, who was the hematologist, was like, I'm going to do a bone marrow biopsy on you
Oh, that's fun.
because I don't know what's wrong with you. And I'm like, great.
Drill in, get it
Yeah.
out.
So I go in for the last surgery, 103-degree fever, and the anesthesiologist and the doctor are just like, you don't feel sick right now? I was like, I mean, I just feel like I've been feeling for
Oh,
the last year.
I remember you were telling me that. You go in, they clock you at
They're like-
103.
yeah, and they're like, are you serious? You don't feel sick? I'm like, I mean, I feel
You've
like
acclimated
shit,
to
but I'm used to
103.
it. Yeah. So
Jesus.
they're
Dude.
like, and my ophthalmologist just goes, something is really wrong with you.
You're like, yeah, no shit.
He's like, you need to go Monday and get every test run you can on you because something's wrong with you because these medicines are making you sick and you have a fever. You didn't even know it. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So I went back to my GP and I was like, look, you need to run every test you can on me. And they did. And then they called me the week of my 43rd birthday and said, you have Wilson's disease more than likely. And I said,
You dirtbags.
Is there a test for Wilson's disease then, or is there just like a?
so the levels on there, like your different liver levels and kidney levels can basically show that
Piss
what
test.
cause levels, and then they test your copper level. So
Them damn liver
yeah,
levels.
so if your copper is out of control, that's like they're like, oh, you have all these shitty liver levels and your copper's insane.
That'd be so awesome if the doctor was like, you got all these shitty liver levels.
Yeah.
And your copper's fucking insane.
Oh, I've heard them say that stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like they haven't been the most professional, really, with you.
Some have.
And, I mean, but like he's
Well,
like,
my
God
G-
damn it! Or you- Whoa,
When-
fuck! Or,
when my GP saw my eye, he was legitimately shocked.
yeah.
So,
Okay. He's again proving that they're just human beings.
yeah.
So
yeah.
what was the determining factor when they're like, more than likely you have Wilson's
Your
disease?
copper was
What-
out
So
of
from
control.
from those levels, they saw the copper. They sent me to a what's the term? Gastroenterologist, and he's like, "Man, you have Wilson's disease." Just looking at the chart, you know. He's like, I'm not a hepatologist. I'm not a liver doctor. I need to send you to the best guy in town. And he gets out his phone and starts texting someone. And he's like, okay, they're going to call you in like 20 minutes and set up an appointment.
That's rad.
Was there a point at that particular moment where you just wanted to fucking grab like, I don't know, let's just say like an AK-47 or something. I don't
I have
know.
one.
Maybe yeah. So it's like just go home, grab the AK, and just be like,
To the doctors? Or?
yeah, just to everyone that you're like, hey, how you were originally like, my mom passed away from Wilson's disease. Could this possibly be Wilson's disease? And the guy's like, no, you'd never know. It's not this at all. I'm telling you. And
Just
then,
got canceled.
a long time ago. But,
Yeah, we've been canceled for a while.
and then your wife is like, hey, I don't want to. Hey, guy, doctor guy,
Eric.
Eric, yes. Hey,
You're going to say the full
Hey,
praise. weren't
Steven.
you?
Steven. Could it possibly be Wilson's?
Stephen Whiteman.
Yeah, Stephen Whiteman guy. Could it possibly be Wilson's disease? No, cannot be it.
It won't be it.
And then you're like, hey,
Gastro.
gastro. My eye almost exploded. What are we doing? And then-
Ophthalmologist.
yeah. And
Oh,
so,
that's-
He's ophthalmologist saved me.
yeah, he
was-
sounds like he's
yeah.
fucking dope.
And I still see him.
But just take out a couple of tootsies.
I
you know,
went
just like,
back
crack,
to
crack, couple
the
of toots.
hematologist, the blood doctor, and I was like, so I have Wilson's disease, and he's like, oh, from copper, and I was like, are you serious?
Like, hey, God damn it.
we came in multiple times and said, well, what about if I have Wilson's disease?
Yeah, and
He's
he.
like, oh, I don't.
I would be. You're such a sweetie pie. Like your exterior scary, interior delicious and sweet. And I if I was like
I'm a very tolerant patient.
you are,
Man.
and I'm not. So if I was doing a couple of what?
I fuck shit up.
Yeah, you would fuck shit. Oh, I know you fuck shit, dude. No. That's not what I'm saying. I know you would fuck shit up, but I don't know if Pute over there was like, hey,
Pute?
listen, yeah, I don't know, whatever. If I would be very upset because I'd be like, we've wasted so much fucking time, and we asked you to check this
Yeah.
long time ago.
Man, the hardcore scene's gonna cancel us.
Oh, dude. No, dude. This is all comes from a place of love and jokes. Dude, come on.
Comedy podcast.
This is a comedy.
Lighten
Comedy.
up, hardcore scene.
Yeah, lighten up, guys.
We'll all listen to Crass
Yeah,
later.
come on.
And
And
rudimentary
redeem
penile.
yourselves.
Okay, so take us through the next because
Okay.
this is
I
is
did
where
see that doctor. I was getting protein infusions, and I was at Chandler Regional, and I saw him walk through the hall, and I was just like on a cane and everything, you know, and I was just like, I should just beat him with this cane.
Yeah.
There he is.
But I just
Unruh.
and it was
fucking just
deep into COVID, so I had a mask on. You know, he had no
Yeah.
idea who I was,
There's
but I
that tolerant
recognized him.
Just one clean swoop, and he just got on his back, and you're just like, just got out of there,
It
dude.
was taking me like 45 seconds to get up.
We just got to hit him at least 6 more times while he's
Right.
down. That's fine. Knock him unconscious. But you have those little balls on the end, and so he'll just knock him out. It won't kill him. No balls?
No,
the
it
tennis ball.
was a Hugo cane. Sat upright,
Oh, yeah, dude. Well,
so it didn't fall over when you.
well.
I wasn't on a walker.
I don't
yet.
know. That was a missed opportunity, maybe. But
My walker has wheels too.
Oh, it did?
Yeah, still have it
Oh, it's dope.
because I know my other knee's gonna go eventually here.
Okay, so let's continue down the path because things get
Yeah.
a little gnarly now.
For sure. So I start seeing the liver doctor at St. Joe's.
Right.
And he's like, yep, looking at your numbers, I don't really even need to do a biopsy, but for your insurance, I have to. You have Wilson's disease.
You're like, okay, thanks.
Sick.
God damn it.
So, October 2019, he does a biopsy to make it official. I played a show with a band called Broloaf doing a Cro-Mags covers set for Halloween like 3 days later.
You say
Puked all-
Broloaf? Broloaf?
Yeah,
Oh my God.
super funny band.
Best band name.
It's a joke band.
Yeah.
Okay,
But they're all hardcore kids, and we did a hardcore punk cover band for Halloween that year, and I like puked in the bathroom beforehand because the
Oh.
anesthesia had fucked me up for days from the biopsy.
God damn.
Because they'd give me aspirin, and I'd just be like, "Oh, I think I'm gonna pass out." Like everything just fucked me up. So,
Because your liver is like, fuck all this. Everything's coming in. It's
and
like,
eventually, I would take medicine, and it would just shoot out.
Thank God you didn't drink.
I know.
Fuck.
I probably wouldn't be here.
yeah, that would have perpetuated the problem.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it would have accelerated it. for
Accelerated,
sure.
yeah. What does perpetuate mean? Is that a word?
Continue.
Yeah. Wrong word.
Yeah, I mean,
Works, but not
Does it kind of work? Give it to me. Give it to me?
no.
No, okay, we're not going to give it to me. We're not going to give it to me. Consensus of the room?
I'll
not
give
gonna
it to you
me.
later.
Okay. Yeah, dude.
Ooh.
I also use the word consensus. Give it up. Let's go.
He's gonna give you his bro loaf.
Does Richard try and
Heard it's
use big words every
catch up
time
Yes, I do.
and like give himself credit for the big words?
Come on.
Words with friends.
Dude, we do it. We like to do it. We got a segment on the show called Words with Friends.
And I got to call out Larry Elia for saying that I was in diapers when he was in Conspiracy of Equals and Last Option because that wasn't true, Larry.
Ooh.
Well, Larry gets me work, so let's take
I
I'm just kidding.
I love Larry. to
Yeah, of
death.
course. Yeah, Larry.
Larry's one of the best dudes I've ever met in my life.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's all
And
right.
he's mentored me over many things.
Yeah, he's mentorly
I
retarded.
think
But
everyone
I was
knows
a
Larry
punker too,
thinks the
Larry.
same.
Just not as old as you.
Oh.
Yeah.
Larry Love. Okay, so back on track.
Yeah, so
Official.
Biopsy. And he's like, you're going to need a transplant in like probably 2 years or less. And he's like, it's too late to put you on these medicines they have now that can make it so you don't have to have a transplant. You're deep into cirrhosis, and you're at a 15 on what's called a MELD score. It's a 0 to 40 scale that says how bad you need a transplant. It's basically in place of the list that they used to have where it was just a waiting list. So, January, they're like getting me set to do all the testing to
2020.
put me on the list.
January 2020.
2020.
So it's a good thing to know. It's a good thing to
Yeah.
note. Or
So
it's an
we're
important
make-
thing to note.
We're making appointments, and he's like, okay, let's do your clinicals in March, end of March, to get you on the list. 2020.
You're like,
What
okay.
happened? Cameron gave everyone COVID.
Yep.
Without ever getting it myself. I just divvied
never
it
had it?
out like Halloween.
Nine.
You never had it?
No.
Amazing.
Neither did I.
Lucky. I haven't either.
Yeah.
But I mean, I was in an iron lung. So
I've been in contact with many people who've had it. Your boy is just hella strong, dude. I got a nice.
I think
fucking
some people are just naturally like,
No,
it doesn't hit them.
Dude, let's be real, dude. I got a nice fucking immune system over here. Okay.
Yeah, because you've never done anything to mess up your body.
No, dude. Dude, I've never
Makes
injected,
all the sense.
never injected foreign bodies into my
Bodies.
temples.
Into my temple.
Shout out heroin. Okay.
Never injected foreign guys. Into
Promo code heroin.
Promo code Aaron, you beat me to it.
promo code rehab now.
Back to your band biopsy.
Yeah.
Transplant.
So they say
discharge.
March March of
We're gonna
2020.
get you on the list for transplant because by then I was at like a 20-something meld score, and it only goes to 40.
Yeah.
So it's like a 4-day workup you have to do to even get accepted to be a candidate for a transplant.
Right.
COVID hits, they're like, you're like heavily immunocompromised.
Right.
You can't come in the hospital.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, fuck. And they're like, unless you're over a 30 on the meld score, we're not bringing you in.
Okay.
So summer hits and I'm at a 30. And they're like,
Oh my God. Oh my God.
These are
Merry-
new pants.
Merry Christmas.
These are new pants. No.
Oh man.
Was it water?
No, it was wine.
Sick ass. So let's have a chat with Ryan Butler.
So you're on the 30
Taylor.
on the meld scale there.
We're gonna need it.
We're gonna pause.
I gotta fucking change my pants.
You know,
Be punk rock
Why
like
can't-
me.
Oh yeah, you know what? I'll just sit on it, dude.
Come on, man.
I'm just gonna sit on it.
Piss in him. Just piss in him now. Crust Punk.
I think-
Piss in that shit.
You wanna get that other bottle?
I'm so sorry, doggy.
Dude, you didn't mean to do it.
he looked like he did. You didn't see his. Should we run
like,
the
this is
playback?
Medical shit.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the bands again.
I didn't know you drank wine.
Oh, dude,
It's like the wagon, dude.
I drink it all.
This podcast used to be about sobriety.
Uh-oh.
We lost it.
As long as you stop there.
Yeah, these pants are toast.
Can you zoom in on his ass? Oh, yeah, you can.
Come on there. No.
Oh, dude, don't worry about it. No. God, you're so funny. Where'd you get the pants?
Hot topic.
Oh, fuck it. Yeah, dude, hot topic, bro.
That's why I wear swimsuits to the podcast, bro.
Is that a swimsuit?
There was a second there where I was like, "Oh, we're gonna be all right,"
I know.
and then it was the final domino.
Final countdown.
God damn
And
it!
to be honest with you, man,
What?
I don't even know what the fuck. I just went. "Ah!"
Oh yeah, it's all good.
Don't forget
We're gonna
your mic.
I'll rewatch it. Make sure, we'll find the
Yeah, you're
we'll,
gonna be on that one.
we'll find the fatal
I
moment.
think I was on Ryan when.
Sorry, Butler.
Oh, you
I
were?
Or do you
interrupt.
switch between?
Yeah, I do it on the.
Oh, you don't edit it down later.
No,
We
dude.
don't have for that.
Minimal
Too
editing.
much work.
Nah, dude. When Taylor came on board, he's like, "You should get a switcher, dude." And I was like, "Don't know what you're saying." And he was like,
So Cam knocked a giant bottle of wine into Richard's penis.
"Yeah,
For the audio listeners.
yeah." For the audio listens, actually more into
The
my
bottle stuck on the ween.
more
and it
like
stuck up.
You
And Richard ejected it
Yeah.
into Taylor.
Oh, man.
you spilled it more like onto my fat ass.
But I think those pants. I think
My-
you keep them.
Yeah, I'll keep.
You try them out a little bit.
Yeah, dude. Oh god. So
Mrs. Carlise could fix them.
No,
If anyone can.
no, but Kirsten, like I will be putting on a pair of underwear, and like it will just be held together with like a couple of threads of fabric and like 4 huge holes, and my hog's
Crust
just
Punk.
hanging out the front. Yeah, Crust Punk for fucking. And she'll be like, "What are you doing?" And I'm
Why
like,
are you putting those on? You're
I'm like,
"What, man?"
I'm like, excuse me. I'm like, I like these. It's free, and she's like, oh, okay. And then if it goes in the dirty hamper, she just fucking Kobe,
Yeah.
Kobe.
Kobe's those.
And I'm like, where are my chones at? And she's like, I bought you new underwear. And I'm like, all right,
Okay, can we get back to Ryan's story?
yeah, maybe.
Shit.
Oh. Oh yeah, I'm here.
I'm actually interested in it.
It is. Yeah, continue.
So we were at. They were going to put me on the list, and then June they brought me in for my workup.
Yeah.
Spent like 4 days there, not inpatient, but like from early in the morning till evening, like doing testing. And they took pictures of the inside of my heart and all kinds of stuff, and
How was your heart?
fabuloso.
Your heart was fucking
Muy
tip top.
fabuloso. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
That's good.
It was, it's been a little enlarged from all the water retention.
And it's having to work.
Yeah.
Overtime.
But other than that,
They're like, you got
Perfect.
that. You got your heart's
they're like, this
Dope.
guy hasn't seen red meat in fucking
ever.
decades.
I remember when you first brought. My parents started buying it. Is that dehydrated like pretend meat slabs?
I wonder what it would have been back then.
It was beef and chicken. They were beef colored and chicken. They were basically just like little slabs,
Tofu
little
type stuff.
and then you would just reconstitute it in like hot water.
Oh,
and my mom
old
would
school.
and
Yeah,
my mom would
okay.
make stir fry with it and try to slide it in. I'd be like, bitch,
What do you mean, bouillon?
what's he got in?
Yeah, what are we?
I bet they
bacon with
they
bouillon?
bought that stuff at probably Master Shanghai is vegetarian now.
I
So
was like, what is this goddamn bloated
There's a little
cardboard?
specialty.
Yeah, it
it's
tasted
fucking
It's not
delicious.
tofu.
tasted like shit, dude.
No.
Tastes
If
so
you-
good.
That was probably textured vegetable protein, which is
Mm.
if you do it right, it tastes like meat.
Okay.
She might not.
I'm
have done
talking
it right.
shit. You know, I'm
I
just
mean,
a shit
now,
talker.
I mean, now they got it pretty down to
They've
a
got
it
it pretty.
science.
Oh yeah,
They
yeah,
do,
yeah. You
yeah.
can fool people with a lot of the stuff.
And I remember just being
that
like,
beyond shit, fucking.
If
fooled
you guys
me.
go to the taco truck, Tacos Veganos at Hilton Brewery, and
Oh,
get
yeah.
a asada burrito, it's all vegan.
Oh, yeah?
I swear
live
they're
right
just
around the
feeding
corner from
vegans
that.
meat. Go get their Arizona burrito one day with asada.
Yeah?
And you'll be like, this is not vegetarian.
I'm,
Okay.
and I'm
crazy.
about that. I'm in for
Like
that.
the cheese, you can tell it's vegan cheese.
Yeah.
But like the
but
asada,
Cam's about it.
I'm about
I mean,
it.
if, like didn't we eat at that Glockstar or whatever? Were you there?
Oh, yeah.
I never went there.
That place was good. You
They
didn't
closed
even.
down.
I didn't even know it was vegetarian.
Taylor and I went and got burritos.
You didn't know.
Yeah, before a show at the Tempe Improv. And then we come to find out later it was all
a vegan
vegetarian.
restaurant.
And it
Oh,
was
this is a
Bob,
goddamn
you
good
crush it.
burrito.
Yeah, it was all vegan there.
And I'm all talking shit about these fucking. I'm like, vegan's bullshit. This is good asada though.
When you're
good,
when
it's
you're in the mood, it's like it's legit vegan Mexican food. Like there's no
You get
gringos that are making it, man. It's
And you
real
get that
deal.
satisfaction
Oh, it's a
of the
burrito.
carne,
Like,
sans carne.
it's like seitan, so it's like wheat gluten, but the way they make it, like
Nice.
my friend Matt brought me one over last summer, and I was just like, "There's no way this is vegetarian. That's steak. That's got to be steak."
You made a mistake. You made a mistake.
And he's like, "No, the place is called Tacos Veganos." Okay. Yeah. So another segue.
Yeah, sorry. My bad.
No, I'm just as bad.
Okay.
So yeah, fast forward, they finally put me on the list, middle probably of August.
God.
I'd been on a cane for months at that point, and like, because that spring I got really sick. I was still working. I closed the studio, and I'd been doing a little merchandise company, like online retail stuff, for a while, and I was still doing that kind of part time until I just couldn't anymore around August 2020, right when they put me on the list. And I was doing all kinds of treatments, like I'm sick as a dog and can barely walk, and they've got me going to like 15 doctor's appointments in a week, and it's a nightmare.
Yeah.
It's like 120 degrees out, and like
Yeah.
here the parking lot's closed, but you can park in the garage and walk a mile, with your walker, and that was a nightmare time for me. So they called me in for a liver like a week later. And they're like, you're a B on this, so you're not an A. You might not get this one. And on the way to the hospital, they're like, no, you're not going to get this one.
They called you.
Yeah. So you have to have a bag packed at all times and your phone on 24 hours a day. Oh, my God. So 2 weeks later, they were like, okay, we've got 3 that could possibly work out. One is the person's going to die at St. Joe's. And we're going to take it out there, and you're the first in line on that one.
Okay.
So, because
That's wild.
I was like a 36 or 37 at that point on
and
the
the
MELD
score goes only up to 40.
Right.
That's insane.
So, they brought me in the middle of the night. I think I got there at like 2 in the morning, and
They're like, we got 3 possibles.
yeah. So the person didn't die until the next night, and I hadn't slept. I was having trouble sleeping anyways. There's all kinds of problems with being sick from this disease, just from cirrhosis in general. Like,
Yeah.
it's you can barely stay alive.
Yeah.
So they had me on the operating table when the person was dying, and they did what's called an honor walk, where somebody's going to donate all their organs, and they walk them in their bed around the unit, and all the nurses come out and like honor them because they're giving their organs away.
Oh,
and we got to hear them do that over the PA, which was really surreal.
Wow.
And like my friend who is an X-ray tech at St. Joe's is in the room. She's like, "That's their honor walking your liver," And actually no, she was at the honor walk, and she's like, "Yeah, I saw the patient whose liver you might get." And so they have me on the table. They cut it out of the person, and they come in. They're like, the liver's bad. We're not going to put it in you.
The liver's bad?
Yeah, they said it was fatty.
Oh.
So they were like, we want you to have the best
You got to have the
liver
best.
possible. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, it has to be your blood type. It has to be big enough to be able to grow into your body, since I'm, built like a defensive lineman.
Shit brick house.
A brick shit house.
Damn it.
Got that one wrong,
Could you
too.
imagine bricking in a shit house? Yeah. That'd be the worst.
You're like a shit brick house? Oh my God, this is very
Shitting in a brick house.
Oh boy, okay. That actually works, dude. Shit in a brick house.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah,
Piece of
it
shit
do.
house. Come on.
Ow.
Mate. Let it shit.
I shall but downfall.
Okay. So this very insane moment happens.
Right. Oh my God. So that was beginning of September 2020. They kept me in for a week because there was like others that I was a B on because I wasn't high enough to get the A.
Wow. Okay.
And I didn't end up getting either of those. They kept me in there like just in case another one comes in. Plus you're like, having trouble taking care of yourself at home. After 7 days, they're like, we don't want you in here anymore. You might get COVID.
Yeah, there's
like,
so much.
Just go home. Nothing's happening. I'm like, fuck. I got like 4 offers in 2 weeks and then nothing. And
So how do you? Okay, so here's my thing.
Mm-hmm.
You're going through this experience. You had all the stuff leading up to this, where you should have clearly had a diagnosis long before you did. You almost lose your eye. You're doing all of that. Now you're having to deal with basically having this thing killing you, and you're at home. You can't even run your small little business. You finally peter out on that because you just don't have the energy or the stamina to do any of that. They get you to the hospital, or you're driving to the hospital. They call you. They tell you, nope, go back home. Then you go back. They say, we have 3 livers. None of them work out. Okay. At this point, I have to imagine that you have to sort of cope or
Accept.
accept with death. there has to be a moment where you're like, I don't know how much longer I can do this.
It wasn't then. Because I'd gotten all those offers in 2 weeks. So
Okay.
I'm like, I'm fucking golden. you
Okay.
know? Like, I'm going to get a liver, no problem. Because
Okay,
I
so-
probably have months to live, you know?
Okay, so your morale was actually
Well,
okay
and
at
they're
that
like
moment.
pumping you up all
Okay,
the time. Like,
okay.
You're going to get one, no problem, blah, blah, blah. And
Okay,
then,
but
like,
there was a moment.
well, so they sent me home. It was early, middle of September. I don't know the exact date. And then October, like 7th hits, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And I'm just like, they're like, sorry, we're not getting any in. There are matches, and they're like, you're at the top of the list, but there's just nothing. Because before they were like, there's so many suicides and overdoses from COVID that,
wow.
that there's more livers than we've ever had. They're like, you're going to get one, no problem.
That is such a
And then they just stopped coming in because opiates don't affect your liver.
okay.
Thank God. So
As I'm guzzling wine.
you can take an addict's liver and
Yeah,
give
dude.
it to a transplant patient.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, as long as they haven't damaged it in other ways,
Yeah.
drinking or eating wrong or
Waffle
whatever.
House.
So, yeah, I told you this story a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
October 8th, that afternoon, I was cutting my hair, and I was just like, why am I cutting my hair, man? I'm probably not going to be here like tomorrow. So why am I even bothering? And as I'm saying that to myself, my cell phone rings, and I'm like, I look, because every time the phone rang, I was just like, oh shit,
Fuck
who is
yeah.
it? Who is it?
Yeah.
Like 24 hours a day, you know. And it's a hospital, and I answer, and it's a transplant coordinator, and she's like, this is it. She's like, this is the best liver we've ever seen. You're number one on the list. This is going to happen. She's like, I'm not supposed to say that you're going to get it, but you're going to get it, and it's going to work.
Bless her heart.
And yeah, and I'm just like,
Yeah,
holy
dude.
shit, are you serious? Okay. So she's
Oh
like,
my-
be here at 4:00. Amy and I get there at 4. We walk up to the big door at St. Joe's, and a guy with a cooler is walking in like at the same time. And Amy's like, I bet that's your liver. And I'm like, fuck no. There's no way that's my liver. At the same time, we walked in the door. And Amy said to the doctor, like, we saw a guy with a cooler come in. Was that his liver? And they were like, oh, we're not doing any other transplants today. So, yeah.
It's always
These astronomical
I know.
fucking.
Yeah, like 20,
Coincidence.
24 hours in a day and like the exact moment.
Yeah,
Wow.
dude.
and
Super
here-
weird.
Here's the thing. I gotta say that is the female part where it's like, is that his liver? Was that his liver?
Totally.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
'cause,
I
like,
would have never
I
said
would've
anything.
I would have never. Yeah, I'd have been
Guaranteed.
I would have been like, bullshit.
Yeah, Kirsten would have been like, "Yo, is
Yeah.
that his liver right
Jess
there?"
would have done the same thing. I'm like, I know what that is. That's your liver in that box.
And then they go ask somebody, "Excuse me, was that the guy with the cooler over there? Break out the ruler. Damn, that's the fattest I've ever seen."
Totally.
That's 100% true.
Is that-
Totally.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
she found out. That's the thing. That's the beauty about our women is that they
Yeah.
Yeah.
help us find out things that we never would find
Yeah,
out.
I never
Yeah.
would have asked that.
Yeah. Okay, so you walk in with your
I don't like
liver.
to bother people.
Me too.
Right. Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah, so they get me back in the operating room. The first time I was in there, I was like shaking. In September.
Yeah.
This time I was like, I've fucking done this shit before. They're not
Yeah.
gonna give it to me.
Yeah. Oh wow. Oh my god.
Like I don't know. What's
Even
gonna
up to
happen
that
here.
moment, you're like skeptical.
Pessimist sometimes. Man.
Yeah.
And
I
at
mean, it
that
just
point,
happened
I'm just
over and
like,
over.
I'm gonna fucking die.
Yeah. Oh my god.
I
dude.
watched my mom. I held her hand as she died from this. So, they put me under, and I woke up, about 24 hours later. Couldn't really get my eyes open, and I was ventilated
Yeah.
for another 24 hours, but I was alive.
God damn.
Yeah, and they were like, it went great. We took the worst liver we've probably ever seen out of you and put the best liver we've probably ever seen in you.
That's so it just and by the way, so just for people at home and people listening and people who don't know about this disease at all, which I had no idea about this disease, and I learned so much more about it a couple weeks ago when we really sat down and went through it piece by piece. but you posted a picture of your liver.
Made postcards of it.
You did?
Yeah, for all the people who did the festival to the
Right,
fundraiser.
the fundraiser.
Oh my god. Okay, so like, I mean, you if you've ever seen like a standard liver,
You can post it on the YouTube video.
I should.
Yeah.
I'll put it at least in a clip. I'll put it in a clip
Yeah.
or something. But
I know Taylor doesn't want to do much editing.
um,
Just pushing your balls in.
I didn't say it. We want to keep you on board. We want to keep you on board.
Love you, Taylor.
This liver was gold almost, and like when
Yeah.
there was like a dissection,
Yeah, that was all gold when it was open up.
and it was leaking
Copper.
I mean, it was so dense with copper that when they took it out and they cut it in half, it was just leaking golden goo.
Yeah. As I
That's
told
so
you,
wild.
I've had medical people talk to me about seeing it, and they're like, if I was in an anatomy class, I would have had no idea what organ that is. Like, that's how
Holy
fucked up it
fuck.
looked.
Where did we get copper from in our diet? A lot of it.
So like tree nuts, almonds are really heavy in it. Copper cookware, mushrooms. A lot of foods have little minimal amounts of copper, but there's a lot that are really heavy, and I had to avoid those for that 8 months or a year or whatever it was. That
And everything that you just listed would be on a vegan
of course
diet.
yeah.
So
yeah.
you're consuming the highest
Yeah.
copper.
Yeah, they weren't like hamburgers,
Yeah.
hot dogs. It's like,
Yeah.
Like, all the things that you eat to try to be like a good person and healthy.
yeah, because
That's killing you.
Minerals
Stop doing
and
that,
stuff are
too.
in vegetables.
So are you on that medication that detoxifies your?
No, that was called a chelating drug, and it just takes metals out of your body.
Oh my god.
Um,
Because
I'm on immunosuppressants now, which
Can-
is even crazier.
how long have we been going, Tay Tay?
Almost hour and 40 minutes.
Okay, so we're at an hour and 40. So what
I'll
I
go
want,
as long as you want.
well, so what I would like to at least do is I want to go through that medication part. So you got the liver, the liver was accepted, and then
Recovery starts.
okay, so this was the part where I remember you being very active online about medication cost and stuff like that. And you said
That
how
was
much
probably more with the earlier drug, because these drugs are expensive, but nothing like that.
Okay, what was I remember there
The
was
chelating drug that he was just asking me about, that was $1.8 million a year or something.
90. It was 90 grand a month, right?
It's 93, I
that's
think.
before
The generic was
insurance, or-
89,000. Yeah, before insurance, but like
What did,
we talked to the Wilson's Foundation and they paid for all the difference for us. But it's like, will your insurance even accept that? And we were lucky enough to be on good enough insurance. Because like people who have Wilson's disease and caught it early, they have to take that for the rest of their lives, or they'll fatally die from liver failure.
And so, didn't you say Amy was the one who found the
Wilson's Foundation.
the Wilson's
Yeah.
Foundation that
They made it $5.
made it $5?
Yeah.
That's what it was. Because what would have been your bill?
Well, we'd have had to pay the deductible, but like
Even that.
insurance companies, they'll screw you if you go over a certain amount, or
Right.
like even like I got a $1,000 bill a few months ago from my surgery, October 8th of 2020, and they're like, "Yeah, your insurance only covered 495,000 of the surgery. It's 496." Like, you couldn't have written that off.
Just that last little smidge that totally fucks me.
That was just the one night of operating
Jesus.
costs.
Good. That's so
So-
insane.
But I was able to coast through all of this financially because of my good friend Matt Martinez, who did a crazy GoFundMe and did an amazing festival online during COVID with bands from all over the country. And
Jim.
Jim Adkins, Drop Dead, Exhumed, Bob Bruno from Best Coast. Who else was on there?
Danny was on there.
Danny Northside did some sets. David Pajo from Zwan, Billy Corgan's band, and Slint, and a bunch of bands. He did an acoustic thing on there.
God, that's so cool.
And some locals like Log Hope Bro Loaf was on it.
Oh, shit.
That
They didn't do their full stage show though, where they dress up like bros.
come on, bro.
And then a bunch of bands, Fall Silent did it.
Oh, that's so cool. My
yeah.
God. Did you watch every set?
Oh, multiple times.
Yeah.
It's like it was like 5 hours.
Yeah.
So he raised like $7,000 or something. He did that. Him and Michelle from the Nile Theater put it all together, really. But Matt was the main force, and he did that GoFundMe that raised like upwards of 50,000, and so our insurance covered the bulk of medical stuff, except for our deductibles like $5,600 out of pocket a year, and we hit that in 2019, like at the end of 2019 from my eyes. Then 2020 hits, we're hitting it going through the hospital. Then 2021 hits right after that. It's just like, oh, it's all like right in a row there. So that's $15,000. I had to have like $7,000 worth of dental work before I could have the transplant, because you can't have any infections in your mouth or it'll reject the liver.
Oh, that's right. I
So-
mean, all these fucking weird angles that you wouldn't even think about would be
dude.
like a thing you have to do.
Like
yeah,
food safety is a big thing, because I'm on immunosuppressants now, and that keep the liver from rejecting. So it makes it so I have no immune system, basically.
Oh, wow.
So like I get a cold and I can be out for 3 weeks, just like feeling like shit.
Unbelievable.
I get a cut, like this little cut that was like a little pimple that's been there for weeks.
Damn. So what was the thing? Because I remember you saying, did you get a medication or something where like you're pretty resistant to COVID now? Like you?
Yeah, I got an antibody treatment, which is why I was able to do this. So
Right.
I had it's called a prophylaxis, which is something you don't know about.
Fuck yeah, bro.
Hey, listen. Why don't you dip my toothbrush in a fucking fetile bird?
Hey, let me tell you something. What you doing?
And that's something that you don't know about. And
In case you didn't know,
Nice.
Richard has trace children.
yeah, I had 3 kids.
Some a little earlier.
Yeah.
Maybe we should have.
Yeah. Well, all?
We love them all, though.
Yeah, we do. I love them.
Absolutely.
Kind of.
So, yeah, I got that in March. I have to get it every 6 months. And, like, before I would take the vaccine, and my immunosuppressants would make it. So, if you're on immunosuppressants, it makes any vaccine 0 to 50% of what it would be for a normal person. So, if a COVID vaccine is 70% keeping you from getting COVID, or 90% effective, it's like 0 to 45%.
Okay. Wow. Unbelievable.
But the antibody treatment fills your body with antibodies.
It's a COVID
Yeah.
condom.
And they've seen, it's still kind of experimental, but they've seen like a 77% resistance from immunosuppressed people even catching COVID with it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So
So what's been let's end on this. Tell us what what's
we're gonna have to do a part 2.
yeah, we'll do a part 2, dude.
Yeah, dude.
We will do one. What's been the recovery like? Once you got the transplant, I'm sure you weren't just like tip top.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was still on a walker for
Yeah.
at least a good month after that. And it slowly got better. I still have problems with water retention and fatigue here and there and stuff like that. But, I'm doing some lighter exercising and cardio and light kettlebells and stuff like that nowadays. And I'll probably never be the physical specimen that I was before.
I disagree. I disagree. Yeah.
But
You're alive.
I am alive, and it's, surviving the first year is just tough. So I beat that. I mean, we're pushing towards year 2 in October. So what, Is that 5 months from now? Maybe.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Less.
So, is like the mechanism gone now that you have a new liver?
Yeah. So the new liver cures Wilson's disease.
Oh, okay. Great.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Oh,
That is amazing.
The cure.
because that son of a gun is doing the thing that it should do.
Which is just crazy to think about, because like I was born in 1976, and in 1967 they had just done their first liver transplant ever.
Wow. Oh, you know what I wanted to
This
ask?
isn't like some crazy old technology.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you
Yeah,
this. I wanted
dude.
to ask you this. Can we talk about a bit of like the donor side?
Boner donor.
The boner donor? Which I've been many times.
We know.
Go get him the Loma.
Well, you should use a prophylaxis.
Oh, that's what it is.
So, can you? Because there's a little bit of a story there. Tell us a little bit about where you got your liver, and then sort of what. Because I think people would find that very interesting. So,
Well, I'm not supposed to know some of the details.
Right.
I do. But a friend of mine did some stuff for a nurse who was on the transplant operating team.
right.
And she told him that it was a 17-year-old boy in Colorado who was in a car crash.
Yeah.
And then she said, I probably shouldn't have just told you that since you're friends with this guy. And he instantly texted me and said, guess what?
Yeah.
So I've written the family as you have to do it through the hospital, and they sent it to him, and they said you may hear back, you may not. And I haven't yet, but
That's got to be a. It's got to be a particularly interesting.
imagine
Yeah,
losing your
that's a-
17-year-old.
that's a-
yeah.
Losing
Yeah.
your son, and then
Yeah, that's a teeter totter of fucking emotion.
Terrible.
How do you even?
Yeah.
navigate that kind of a thing.
I was hoping it would turn out like my uncle wrote the family that donated their liver to him, and he's like, they live in Yuma, he lives in Flagstaff. He's like, we get together once a year, and we're like family now. And
You guys eat cake in the shape
Yeah.
of a liver.
I was like, oh, Amy's family's in Colorado. We can, go see him there. And
Yeah.
didn't happen. But you never know. They said sometimes people write you like a year or two later.
I
So.
bet even more sometimes. Because
Yeah.
I mean, you got to think about that. It takes them time to sort of get through and
Oh, man.
process and accept
Yeah.
and all that stuff.
I can't
However,
imagine.
of course, but then I think that once you've sort of accepted, you start to really think about, well, a piece of our son saved another person's life, and
Yep.
I think
Yeah.
even
and
if
it's
they
gonna
don't-
go on living for like maybe 30 more years.
30
40
more.
Yeah.
years.
And they're like, that's fucking cool.
that's
Yeah.
that's an incredible thing.
Yeah.
That at least this tragedy has, and that's really the great thing. I've always said, like, when they ask for like the donor, like if they say you want to be a donor or whatever, I'm like, yeah,
Hell yeah.
I'm like, sure, dude, but I'm like,
Oh, ever since my mom died, I'm like an advocate
yeah.
of that.
But I always tell I always tell the guy, probably not gonna want any of them, but I'll give them to you.
You
Your
always,
liver.
you always give them that
Take
little.
my dick.
I'm like, just take the hog off of me. Give that to some poor little tinky dinky guy. I don't know.
Some poor little tiki deaky guy.
Yeah, you'd be like, dude, this thing got fresh at
Anybody
12.
need a new clit?
God damn it! Butler owned me.
Yeah, he did.
Anybody need a new clit? Get it for Rich.
Get it from Dick.
My boy Dick's got it.
My boy Dick's got a
got your
big
clit.
clit.
Dick's got the biggest clit you'll ever see.
What was that band? What was that band, my Ted?
What?
The
Richard Cranium?
Richard Cranium. Yeah. Get that Richard Cranium off that fucking guy.
Make you a new clit.
Yeah, God. Make him a new clit. You
You
motherfucker.
say it so good, dude. Yeah. Oh my
Hey,
God.
fuckface.
Yeah. What an incredible journey.
Are you going to open up the studio?
No, the industry's ruined it. I mean, Larry's talked about it, I'm sure.
Yeah.
He's still doing it part time every once in a while.
Yeah. But
For
I mean,
me, it's just like the last year I did it full time. I went from making probably 60 to 80 grand a year to like $6,000 a year in 2019.
yeah.
Because
Because people are they're doing it on their computers.
Yeah, I can't justify keeping all that gear around.
So you get to sell off a little bit.
Yeah, but I'm going to put it into the new merchandise business.
Okay.
You know, not jet skis. And
Maybe get one, but
maybe.
just get one jet ski.
Yeah.
Yeah, Larry told me, he's like, I did audio visual stuff, like, editing necessity.
Yeah.
Because this was starting to sort of peter off. He still does it, and he still has gear, and I think he's done other things that have, brought revenue. You know how they say you gotta fucking have
and
lots.
he's doing videos,
irons
so
on
having
fire.
that gear around is like good for him. You
Of course.
know, voiceovers, all kinds of stuff like that.
Yeah. So he's able to
He's just an amazing engineer. You know, somebody I've always looked up to. And
way up to, because he's
oh yeah,
way older than you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let's just not.
Not really.
Let's not forget
I
that.
think he's like 3 or 4 years.
Listen,
old.
way
You
older.
were, you were wearing diapers.
Larry, you fucker.
Diapers.
So let's do this. Thank you for coming on.
Absolutely.
It's been our absolute pleasure. It's been such a incredible story to hear your whole, music upbringing, all that stuff, and then this crazy thing that's happened to you over the last few years. And I love you so much.
I love you.
And
Both of you, all 3 of you.
Love you, brother.
And we
So
will
good to see you,
we will
man.
absolutely have you back on.
I'd love to. It's
Just to
fun.
do what I would really like to do is, talk about some stuff, but then I want to play some games with you.
Bag of
Yeah,
hats.
yeah.
I want to do some silly shit with you. I
Talk
wa-
shit on Cam for not getting vaccinated.
Yeah, we'll talk shit on Cam. But here's the deal. We'll
those
have you
COVID
back
tests
on,
handy.
and
Do it.
We'll,
Yeah.
we'll have you back on, and we'll just
I got a bunch.
we'll do a little bit more of a silly.
Yeah, that'd
episode.
Be cool. Yeah, we got the serious stuff.
We
out
got
of
the
way.
serious stuff out of the way, which is, really a very interesting thing, and I'm glad that we have it here, and it's going to be posted to YouTube, and we'll get to have it forever.
Yeah.
And I love that kind of stuff. Go ahead.
I told Amy today, I was like, I was thinking about, what might we talk about, and I was like, I need to write a fucking book because
Dude.
so much crazy shit's happened to me in my life. And then I was thinking about, I did an interview for a kid in LA a couple of weeks ago, and he asked me like really detailed questions, and it took like 4 hours to like answer the questions. I was like, because he was like, I want to do a Ryan Butler interview, not like a Landmine Marathon interview or an Unruh interview and stuff. And so it was like not stuff that I could just be like, yeah, we got a new record coming out in the fall.
Right.
He's like,
You're like, I play this
where
guitar.
did you
Right.
start?
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. What albums?
Yeah.
When did you first hear this and that? Blah, blah.
But that's cool.
If you write
Yeah.
a book, you have all the time you need to really detail everything.
Yeah.
out.
What kind of interview was it? Was it written?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I still get them, and I used to do, God, when we'd have a record come out, the labels would just send you mountains of them and stuff, but not so much since I haven't really played much lately. But
Is that, and we'll end on this. Is that a?
that's an issue too.
Is that something you're gonna?
I hope to. My hand has been numb since the surgery.
Oh my God, that's right.
They stretched me out on the
Stretcher.
and taped my arm to a platform and gave me a nerve injury in my hand. But it's starting to come back, and I can kind of play guitar. So
Oh, it's coming back.
yeah.
Oh, thank God.
So I don't want to like start a band yet, and also until they clear me to go into shows, I'm not gonna work on a band super hard
Yeah.
and not play a show.
No. Yeah.
So-
yeah.
Fuck
Okay.
that.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
that's good news. I'm glad.
I'll probably go back to it sooner than later.
Cool. Good. You should. And again, thank you for coming on the program. We love you
course.
so much.
My
And
pleasure.
thank you guys for tuning in to this week's episode of the Dick and Boonies podcast. Cam, what do you think there, bud?
Oh, I think I want some crusty crust core with some
Oh,
discharge.
I can serve it up.
Oh,
I could serve it
let's
up.
get it, baby. Let's get it. Let's
I
close
have
it down.
to show
so
you
we can
guys
go do that.
samples of this. Before
Yeah.
we leave.
You're gonna. We will see you guys in 2 weeks.
Yep.
Peace out, y'all. Thank you so much, Ryan.
Thank you.
Later.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We can't believe you stuck it out. We can't believe you had no doubt. Thank you for tuning in.
again.